Hello, hello.
How are you, Jason?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Lovely to see you again, my
Absolutely.
almost regular co-host and partner at this point.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no, thanks for constantly being willing to do it. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's always fun. Hi, everybody. I know we're going to probably have a smallish crowd tonight because everybody's probably at New York. A bunch of these regulars are probably New York Comic Con or whatever. But that's okay. We always make do with or without the people who are at the cons week in and week out. So many of my most fun favorite episodes happened during con weekends where we had less people and we still had a ton of fun. And
right.
Yeah, so either way, it'll be good. Just wanted to do a quick shout out, everybody, to my newest subs. These are the only two whose names I could see. Art Sometimes and Carlo Olivar. So thank you, and thanks to the rest of you who also subscribed, but whose names I could not see due to your own privacy settings not allowing me to see that. So, but I do appreciate it, and I hope there's something for you to enjoy here. And at some point, I welcome you to pop into the chat live and join in. Everybody's very friendly. Don't ever be shy, and always like to have more people participate with comments, questions, and we do a lot of fooling around, as you'll soon see if you are watching. So yeah, it's great fun, and like I said, it's a very friendly crowd, no hostilities ever. And so I thank you for subscribing, and I welcome you in to the channel and the show. Thank you. And suddenly we get a bunch of hellos. So let me say hello to everybody who is here tonight. Mr. Red Jack, of course, I don't know if you are still here, but thank you as always. Appreciate you. Polly P, what's up? Good to see you, sir. And thank you for hitting that like button. Please, everybody, if you are here watching, there's not many of you, so every like, thumbs up counts and helps. So I'd appreciate if you are here already and haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Of course, your one and only fan, Vivian.
Hi, Vivian. Thanks for having me back.
Good evening to you, Rickster. What's up? And of course, Piano Wizardry, Polly P himself. Hey, hold on a second. Why'd you switch up? Why'd you swap out your from one account to the other, Paul? You went from your Paul account. Now you swapped out to your Piano Wizardry. What's up with that?
He's incognito.
Interesting. Wow, Karen's Pages. Hi. Karen. Lovely to see you, Karen. Good evening. Number one Marvel fan, what's up? Master Mold Sentinel, I guess it's supposed to be. Represent. Oh, in the back, yeah. Yeah, Jason's always got some awesome stuff in the back there for you guys to
just change my vantage point a little bit. So
yeah, I figured. I'm not going to move stuff around. It's better just move the camera.
I just move a chair, really. Yeah, absolutely.
Easier that way, yeah. That's awesome. John Brown, what's up? Good to see you. Thank you for being here as always. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Wow, Marcus Way, what's up? Happy Eras Tour weekend? What's that?
I don't know that one.
He always throws us curveballs, right? And it's always like, man,
I don't know the Eras Tour.
Eras? What's Eras? I don't know, man.
Oh, time frames. The eras.
Well, I know what era means, but
yeah.
I don't know what he means by it. I don't. What? No, different eras with the Master Mold, the Sentinels, maybe.
I don't know if that or if just the different eras of art that we've been covering. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Tell us.
I don't know. Marcus will have to tell us though, and I'm sure he will. Hey, what's up, Caesar? What is up? Good evening to you, man. Maki Poo Poo, what's up, Michael? Good to see you as always. And you, Tom. What's up? Illinois in the house. Good to see you as always. Thank you, sir, for being here. Wow, Ian.
Oh, hey, Ian.
Ian, Mr. Guardians of the Galaxy fanatic himself. I don't know if there's a bigger fan of those characters. Well, at least not of Groot and and the squirrel. I know it's a raccoon. It's a rocket raccoon. I know. Well, good to see you, Ian, as always. Oh, so hold on. So
The Eras Tour is Taylor Swift.
Eras Tour. Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So Paul is doing that so he can give 2 thumbs up. I hope so. That'd be awesome. Thank you. I can now give 4 thumbs up, by the way. I can give people 4 thumbs up because of all the Gmail accounts. Lesson to all of you who have multiple Gmail accounts. You should be able to use each one of those Gmail accounts as another account on YouTube if you want to give people different likes and whatnot, multiple likes. Wow, look who have it. Oh my God, we haven't seen. Wow. Fellow Canadian, we're up and staying. What is up, Sean? Oh my God. Wow, it's been forever. Good vibes. Thank you. Are you sending them to us? Wow. Good vibes to you, my friend. It's been an age and a half. Wow. Great to see you, man. That's awesome. Going to be a quiet night tonight. You're coming back on a quiet night because everybody's at New York Comic Con. So yeah, awesome. So yeah, clearly we are not Taylor Swift fans. So thank you, Ian and Tom. And there's a movie release of what? There's a Taylor Swift movie?
Of her concert, maybe?
Concert? Taylor Swift, yes. LOL. The number 1 movie in North America? There must be some kind of Taylor Swift movie. Okay. I'll take your word for it, and so will Jason, apparently.
Sure. Yeah, if you say so. I'm not a Swiftie.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Hart, what's up?
Hey, Hart.
Good to see you, Hart. Hopefully you're doing better. My gosh. I don't want to say anything, unless you say it yourself, Hart, but just want to say, because people do know that you've had at least something, they know something of your run of bad luck this year. So a couple of things went wrong for Hart. Now a third thing went to have things happen in threes, and I'm not going to say it unless Hart wants to say it himself. But man, hope you're feeling better. Anyways, man, you're here, so I know you can at least punch the thumbs up button. I know that. Speaking of fingers, 49ers down today with the Moody Blues. What do you mean? Didn't they won? Didn't they win? How did it end? I thought I watched it finish. I thought I watched it end.
Yeah, they lost. They were one of the undefeateds, and they went down.
What? How did it? What was the score?
I don't remember. I just saw it in the discussion. I didn't actually watch that game. And then the Eagles just went down. The Jets took the Eagles down.
Oh, the Jets! I was watching.
Yeah,
I was watching. It was a 2-point game for the longest time.
Yeah.
And it was just defensive. They couldn't get anything going on either side on offense.
Yeah.
The Jets finally managed to score and beat them.
Yeah.
Wow.
They got an interception and got to within the 10-yard line, and then on the second play they scored, and then the Eagles couldn't get it together after that.
Wow. And the 49ers ultimately ended up going down too.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Crazy. Wow. Some shakeups happening here in the NFL. Wow. Yes, sir. I know you're capable. And of course you are, Ian, wearing the Taylor Swift shirt as we speak. Hey, David. G'day. What's up in Oz? What's good in the land down under? What's the temperature out there, David? I'm sure it's cold for you, but I'm sure it's not that cold compared to probably us, or maybe similar at this point in time. There you go, revealing some truths, some dirty truths. Maui fire, followed by COVID, cut off ½ inch of my left thumb. Dude,
we're hurt.
Definitely not been your year, my friend. Oh my gosh. Like I said, things happen in threes. That should mean that it's over.
You're done.
You should have a string of good luck from now moving forward. So hopefully, man. Oh no, not because of my Moody. Money Moody. Now I feel bad. 2? Not 1, but 2 after being money all season so far. Oh, wow. Sorry, Marcus. What could I tell you? He was awesome at Michigan. All kickers miss once in a while, but it's tough when it's 2 in a game, Missed the field goal. Hey, Caesar. I mean, yeah, man, what can you say? Still they're a good team, and they're in contention to go far this year. So I wouldn't, in the NFL you can afford to miss several, not miss, but you can afford to lose several games and still have a fair chance, an equal chance to go to the Super Bowl, right? So that's the nice thing. It's not like college football where you got to go undefeated or at worst, I should say, lose one game,
Right.
So wife and kids are more of the Swifties. I didn't go to the movie, but 2 of the 3 littles and my wife went. Excellent. That's good. Something nice for the family to go to, A lot of nice art coming soon. David Mandel won the X-Wing and Stormtrooper armor for $3.8 million. My God, he spent $3.8 million getting an X-Wing and a Stormtrooper armor. Woo! Plus, if he bought anything else, wow, wild.
Yeah.
Thanks, Hart. Are you trying to make fun of me? Better than the Pats, but at least my Lions are kicking ass now, right?
Yeah.
Right, Jason. Come on,
another
baby.
good day for them. Yeah.
Our Lions, baby. Our Lions.
Yeah. Unheard of, but yeah.
Yep. We're kicking ass, man. And this year, unlike last year, where the defense was suspect, the defense is kicking ass this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking to go deep into the playoffs, man. So cross fingers, baby. Cross fingers. They've already sold the Watchmen page, DKR, and Hollywood stuff. Oh, really? He was selling stuff to try to fund those Star Wars memorabilia pieces. Wow. See, good sort of support for that point I was making several episodes back when I was saying how, you get some people who say, oh, well, I'm not like some of these guys who have bottomless pockets like Dave Mandel or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I said, listen, even the guys who you think are the big fish in the hobby, like Dave Mandel, even they don't have, yes, they have way more than we do, way more than the average person, but even they still cannot always buy everything they want.
Right.
And this is not the first time that Dave has had to or decided to sell very expensive parts of his art collection to buy other art or, memorabilia, movie memorabilia,
Right.
So yeah, they still live in a nicer sort of level than the rest of us in terms of being able to buy and afford collectibles, but it's not always a bottomless sort of pocket situation, So,
right.
And yeah, absolutely, Marcus. That's the whole point. It's one more game than usual, and even in the 16-game season, man, you can lose 5, 6, 7 games sometimes and still get in, right? And you still got a fair shot. So for sure. So 13 degrees Celsius. Okay, that's similar to what we're having here. So, and then for those Americans among you, which is most of you, that's like 40 something. Yeah, mid 40s or something like that. Yeah, so waiting for summer. Yeah, you and me both, David. He's swimming in deeper water. Yeah, well, obviously, like I said, obviously. But okay, excellent. So not a bad crowd for the NYCC tonight, 21 currently. So lovely to have you all. Kenneth Bird, hi to you. Thank you for being here, my friend. Yeah, so everybody, nothing to promote tonight other than Nikki B's show. Nikki B, I know you're probably at the NYCC. I couldn't find the direct link to your scheduled show for Friday, so I will not be able to link to that. But I'll still do my usual promo for you. Later in the mid show. Okay. Nothing else to promote tonight, so we're going to jump right into the show and tell. So yeah, now that I've shouted out everybody who are the newest subs, thank you again to those of you who subbed this week. And I will remove you guys from the screen. And yeah, I'm ready to go. Are you ready to go, Jason?
I'm ready to go.
Awesome. So let's just get right into the show and tell then. And we will, for those of you who were here last week, you may remember we left off with a slew of some Bill Sienkiewicz art pieces. This week, we again resume with Sienkiewicz art pieces, the first 3 of which are from one of my favorite issues because it was a guest star issue. And I just have to say, for the comic book speculators among you, Karen, oh, sorry, who like to pump up and hype up like pointless and needless things in comics to try to make some comic that was never ever hot before, suddenly hot. The next three pieces, the first three pieces, come from an issue of Moon Knight with the Daredevil guest appearance. And I noticed that I was watching, it's so funny, Jason. I occasionally watch some comic book channels.
Mm-hmm.
And, these guys that try to pump up, speculation type stuff. And I was seeing them like pump up this Moon Knight. I believe it's issue 13. It was a never, ever, ever, ever a collectible hot issue, whatever. It was just, people knew. Okay. So Daredevil appearance. It's a guest starring appearance, whatever, right?
Right.
No reason to make it hot or whatever. But of course, now it's a 40-year-old book. The current crop of like 30-something and 40-something comic speculators are all like, first time Daredevil and Moon Knight meet. Like, and it's the first time I took a dump today and didn't wipe my ass. Like, is that special? Like, should we celebrate that? Like, the comic people kill me. That's why I don't get it. Like, they will use any excuse to make anything hot. Now, here, I just want to say to you, comic people, because I know that a lot of you who have subscribed to me lately are coming from Bry's Comics. Shout out to Bry's Comics, and also Karen's page, Karen, which is called Karen's Pages. Karen's channel, I should say, called Karen's Pages. I just want to say to you guys, like I get it. Like you run out of things to make hot, so you seek something else to try to make hot. But listen, when you try to pump something up, like, hey, first time this person and this person meet each other, could it be relevant? Can it be relevant? Yes, it can be relevant. However, it's only relevant if those two characters ended up having a long history of teaming up together, meeting together, fighting alongside each other, whatever, Then if it's a 40-year history of them doing that, then it's relevant. Then it's like, okay, yeah, first time that these, this long association with these two characters that we all know and love, first time they met and got together, or they teamed up and fought or whatever. It makes sense.
Not anymore, because what they try to do is if like a new Marvel series is coming out, then you try to find something relevant to the series. The price of that book goes up for a couple months. You try to flip it during that time, and then you're out. But you're right. What you're talking about is somebody like us who would have bought a book back when, and it was a long history, and it's got longevity to it. Yeah.
So you're agreeing with me.
So yeah, but now in art, I'm going to collect art based on the first time an artist used a certain instrument. So the first time John Romita used marker, or the first time John Byrne used a brush. I'll just start buying those pages, and I'll hype them as this is the first time this artist used a Pentil 0.5 micron pen.
Yeah, exactly. It can get kind of silly, to be honest, but whatever. Truthfully, though, that's how comics kind of always were, even back when I was collecting and then wheeling and dealing comics. It was kind of like that too. You always looked, like when people were kind of, when the hobby is kind of like getting stale, like which it's always working in cycles, right? It would become stale because if Silver Age is the hot thing of the moment, but it's been the hot thing for the last year or two, it's kind of petered out, right? Everybody's got the issues that everybody was trying to make hot in the Silver Age. Right. So then, that's when people are like, okay, let's look elsewhere. What else can we pump up now, right? We need something different. Things are getting stale. And then it became, Bronze Age. Let's hype up Bronze Age appearances and blah, blah, blah. And then when that sort of kind of peters out, everybody got what they wanted. Suddenly it's whatever the 90s, whatever. So it's kind of always been like that, but it's just that it's just these days it just seems like a lot of the things they try to the reasoning is a lot, it gets sillier and sillier is what I'm trying to say, So I don't know, man. That team up is fire. You think? Yeah, okay. The first time Starsky and Hutch met Starsky and Hutch. You always remember your first time, don't you though, Hart? Yeah. I would add an acetate cover with extra staples to make a comic hot again. As Karen says, now that's a pro tip. And Marcus would know because he only inserts the tip, whenever possible. So, okay, so let us get to those pages, shall we, everyone? So the first piece, and I sold this, ages ago. My gosh, must be 18 years ago now. It's the splash to the issue. And here we go, everyone. Check that out. Yeah, that's pretty wicked, right, Jason?
Yeah, that's wicked because you got the villain, the jester in the bottom left, and then great image of the two heroes, or whatever you want to call Moon Knight, kind of a hero, sometimes a hero.
Yeah.
The inks on that are really neat. I like how they've done it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's funny. I know people like to sometimes to hear this kind of stuff. So when I was selling all my Moon Knight art, all the inventory I had on Moon Knight, I think I mentioned it in the last episode last week. The majority of the pages were about $175. And there was a few, maybe a handful of them that, the ones that I liked the best with the coolest Moon Knight images, best action. Those I had at like $250. So with that context, I can tell you that I sold the splash page for $1,500.
Big money.
Yeah, which at the time was like, wow. It's like I set some sort of record with that, And I didn't even put it out on my website. I just sort of talked to somebody that I knew, and he was all over it, and that was that, But it has a butt shot of Moon Knight. Can you get a discount?
No, that makes it go up.
Yes, you may. See that, as I said, Marcus. See, I was able to sell this one directly without putting it on the site. So I didn't need to have to give a discount. But if I had put it on the site and it didn't sell on the first day, I probably would have had to drop it from $1,500 to $500. Yeah, see? Hart knows what I'm talking about. Oh, he's got a flat butt. Take off $500 for that flat butt. There you go. Is this the first tush of Moon Knight 2? It might be. It might be. What's up, Derek? Hey, Comic Art Boston. No apologies necessary. I appreciate you coming in to say hello and give a like, give a thumbs up. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you.
Hi, Cab.
And if you can, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Always appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's a really great splash.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. I thought it's fantastic. You get a nice image, full figure on both characters, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a little sneak peek behind the curtain, literally.
Yeah, that's great.
With the jester, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
whoever owns that's an awesome page.
Yeah. And I sold it to a guy who is known as a black hole. So as far as I know, he probably still has it. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And from there, I then had 2 panel pages. And these are pretty cool too. I thought they had some pretty cool images. Check this out. So Moon Knight 13, page 10. And what I loved about it is that it had a couple of full body images, even though it was like an 8-panel page, which of course it's hard to squeeze in full body images, 8-panel pages, But I love those full body shots of DD. But I really always love, and I think a lot of collectors and even comic book fans in general, I think especially if you're a Daredevil fan, I think we all love images where we see him with the concentric circles.
Right, for his radar sense.
Yeah, using the radar, So I love that panel as well, and that's.
I like the perspective in the first panel. I mean, it's such a steep angle.
Yeah, very steep.
And then that center panel where the guy's getting hit by the yo-yo. That's a great panel too.
Yeah. Sienkiewicz art is always great. I agree. Love that. Yeah, Karen said what you just said. Yeah, so you're echoing Karen's comments. Yeah, I love it. Not only is it really steep, the perspective, but it's even higher than Moon Knight is. That's what I love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're higher.
Right.
You're even above him.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, that's really, really neat. So very, very cool. And that, like you said, that middle panel, knocking him out there with the yo-yo, I think is second in silliness only to the Daredevil page I have in my gallery, where Bullseye knocks out Daredevil with a paper airplane.
Right.
Now that's number one in silliness, but you know, the yo-yo is up there, but at least the yo-yo, it's got some weight to it and some solidity, you know?
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of funny. This one is even cooler than the splash page. Wow. Yeah, a lot of people do prefer, you know, panel pages, you know, the action on panel pages to single image splashes. You're not the only one, Hart. So radar love. Yep. Love that. And love Daredevil. Yes. Well, he does have a lot of fans, I would say. Walk the dog. Remember that, Marcus? Around the world.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. I tried a couple of those. I was never any good at it.
So I was never any good.
Yeah. I could never keep practicing. And somehow all I ever managed to accomplish really well was to get the string tied up in knots. Yeah.
If I could get it to come back up more than twice, that I had a great run.
It would always, get to the bottom and like, oh damn, I gotta rewind it, you know.
Yeah.
So funny. The good old days of yo-yoing. All right, everyone. Let us take a look at the next piece, which is the final piece from the issue with Daredevil. And I think it's another pretty cool piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
This has got it's got great action. It's got the villain. It's got great inking. This spotting of the blacks in those last three panels is kind of cool. I like that whole, what is it, 1, 2, the third panel is probably the best in my opinion.
Really? With the exploding popcorn?
Yeah, I like the look of the Jester's face and how he's kind of half shadowed, and then the popcorn coming at you. It's it's just kind of a neat panel. Yeah,
it's very cool. And of course, the typically Neil Adams-esque body positioning, posing in the final panel for Daredevil. But I love the sort of leaping action pose in the second panel. But even the first panel with the black background, the twirling.
That was great too. I mean, you could substitute the Joker there, and you know, Neil Adams' Joker. Yeah, you can kind of see the elongated chin and the nose, and
yeah. And David comes in with another one, Rock the Cradle.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I don't remember much more than the first two, but yeah, that's so funny. But yeah, no, it's a great page. Great page. I again don't know where the two panel pages ended up. Haven't seen them in a long time, and they're not online. So
those are really cool.
But that was
how did you come across all of that Sienkiewicz art?
Oh, I
was it one source that you got it from?
Yeah. I was getting them from Sienkiewicz, but through Mitch Itkowitz, who used to be his representative.
Okay.
Because at the time, nobody cared about the art, right?
Right.
And so I had bought a few pages for myself, you know, because back then I started in like 99 or 2000. And I was like, oh man, Sienkiewicz, the Moon Knight stuff. That's where I first found his, you know, discovered his work. I'm like, I should get some Sienkiewicz Moon Knight. So I picked up a few pages, and then and I was like, okay, I had just started dealing art a couple of years earlier, and as I've said in the past, I wanted to deal in the same art that I love personally, you know. And so I was like, okay, let me see if I can try to pick some of this stuff up. And I was like, well, he's already represented. But what I noticed was that Mitch, in those days, he didn't really make much of an effort to try to put out any of his Moon Knight art. And it's because it wasn't really selling. Nobody wanted it, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of understood. And so then one day I spoke to Mitch in person, right, at a con. And I was like, and I told him what I wanted to do. I was like, listen, I love his stuff. I want to try to push his stuff and bring more attention to his work. So I'd like to get some inventory of his Moon Knight stuff, you know, New Mutants as well. But even back in back in even 99, 2000, Mitch didn't, Sienkiewicz did not have much New Mutant stuff left.
It already sold it all.
Already back then, yeah. Yeah. It was never in supply. It was always in short supply, you know. And so I worked out a deal with Mitch, whatever, and we finally did a deal. And I bought a bunch of pages, you know, and I added it to the ones I bought for myself, which eventually I was just like, okay. I was, you know, scattered, collecting all sorts of pages that didn't have no theme or whatever. And finally, just whatever. I'll put everything into the inventory. You know, you can't keep it all, whatever. So that's how it all happened. And like I said, it still took me years to get rid of it all. It was a few dozen. It was like three and a half dozen pages or something total that I had.
Wow.
So it took me years to move it all.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. So, yes, cool page indeed, Karen. Yes, sir, Mitch, it was. There was Hell of Moon Knight and you mean a hell of a lot of Moon Knight and Spider-Woman? Spider-Woman?
I don't know who drew that. I wasn't reading that at the time.
There was no Sienkiewicz Spider-Woman. Greetings. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you, sir. The Bills should take it pretty easy tonight. I think it should be a handily won game over the Giants, right? Giants are missing a bunch of players. The Bills are a pretty good, really good team. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so all right, let us continue with the show and tell everyone. And from there, and thank you to those of you who have tuned in a little bit later, including you, Jeff. And we do continue with Moon Knight. We've got 2 last final Moon Knight pages, and then a couple of New Mutants pages. So the next one is...
Holy cow.
This very nightmarish splash page from issue 22.
Oh.
With Morpheus hunting someone's dreams.
I wasn't reading Moon Knight on a regular basis, so I don't remember all of these pages.
Yeah.
And this is stunning.
Yeah. Well, and you know what, Jason? You know what's really cool? Like, I envy you from the point of view where, like, you weren't reading and looking at the issues way back in those days when they were coming out. You know, when you were starting out as a kid and stuff. And I envy the fact that you never bothered to go back and maybe flip through every issue and look through them, because all these years, decades now later, you get to sort of experience this stuff for the very first time. To you, it's like, what? Wow.
Yeah.
Because there's not much stuff in mainstream comics that I've not seen. Whether it's through original art or not, doesn't matter. I'm talking about even if it's through the comics, right? When it comes to Marvel or DC from the last 50, 60 years, there's very little that I'm unfamiliar with. So to be able to look at stuff today and say, wow, I've never seen this before, and it's like your first time experiencing it, like, I envy you, because it's kind of exciting,
Yeah. Well, I think that's what's made it hard for my art collecting to have any sort of theme or focus or anything like that, like some people do, because I'm looking at it. Yeah, I was so laser focused on X-Men as a kid and anything X related. So something like Moon Knight or Captain America or some other title. So when I see the original art, I'm just stunned by the art itself. And it's kind of cool. So this is totally new to me. This is amazing. This has a sort of a golden age cover kind of feel to it. This is great.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I wanted to thank you, Marcus, for mentioning he did do Spider-Woman covers. Thank you for reminding me that. But are you saying that in the late 2000s, I'm talking 99, 2000, did he still have available Spider-Woman covers? Because I definitely don't remember him still having them in 99, let alone 2000. So maybe 96, 97, possibly, because I would not have been paying attention at that point yet, But his covers were great back then. I used to love all that stuff. I mean, he's always been great to me, anyway. All his eras. So, hey, what's up, Naughty or Nice? Good to see you, dude. And stunning. It absolutely is a stunning piece. Late 90s, okay. Yeah, hard to pin down the year, but okay. Wow, that he still had them. That's wild. Yeah, I'm thinking probably closer to 90, 97, 96, 97. Because, it definitely had nothing left. Unless he was hiding them and I didn't know. in 99, 2000, but when he was still pushing catalogs in the mail. Wow. Okay, got you. Thanks, man. All right. So final page, everyone, from the Moon Knight. Let's take a look at that. It's a really cool sequence from a great issue. I loved. One of my favorite pages. So this was one of my $250 pages. The high end stuff.
High end stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, from number 22, page 12. Just look at, oh my God, like the contrast.
Yeah.
Oh,
that second panel is incredible.
Yeah.
There's so much detail in the buildings, but then you've got the white Moon Knight and the contrast of the person in the foreground.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I love all of it. Like the way he's kicking it. It looks like he's fighting a shadow, you know? It's like first panel, the second panel.
First panel's amazing too. I really like that one too.
Yeah. And the fourth panel, tiny, but really cool leaping panel with a crescent shaped cape, you know?
Yeah.
And then the fifth panel chasing the guy out of the panel, which is so cool. Oh my God. Yeah. And then the art, the line art on the bottom two panels. It's just, oh my gosh, to me.
Yeah. That the clown in the bottom in the final panel is with the cart is just creepy. His head's in shadow, but you can make out his costume with the polka dots. That's just kind of creepy.
Yeah. Well, as you know, Jason, a lot of people do find clowns creepy, right? So it almost makes sense that there's a clown there.
Yeah.
In a series like this, which is kind of very dark, and it's got villains like that Morpheus character, so yeah. But I thought it was just excellent. The whole issue is really fantastic. But this was a standout page for sure. And let me come back to you all and then go to Comic Art Boston because he's asking something. So how did you find Mitch? He is straight and direct, but was a bit grumpy when I first contacted him. We were all right after that. Listen. So the truth about Mitch is he's who I always, or everybody always kind of refers to as the old curmudgeon, even when he wasn't that old, but yeah, kind of like a curmudgeon, grumpy. He didn't suffer fools. Now I don't suffer fools either, generally speaking, but I also won't blast people kind of the way he would so quickly. So believe me, you're what I know what you're getting at, Comic Art Boston, and that's essentially who he was, and that's just how his personality was. But we in later years became closer and better acquainted and better friends and stuff. So Mitch and I are fine. And yes, indeed, fantastic page, absolutely. Prototype, Rick, prototype for the comic guys and gals. First appearance, black suit Spidey, prototype, yeah, for sure. Dan, what's up, Dan? Good to see you, man. Only thing I could find from Sienkiewicz without arguing with dealers at cons, Mitch Sienkiewicz had some figure sketches, and that
one
was
figure.
Oh, okay. When was that though? Oh, 90. Oh, okay. Back in those. Oh, interesting. Back in those days, 97 to 2000. Interesting. Yeah. Thanks for chiming in with that. I like those little bits of experiences from collectors from those eras as well. I mean, I like to give out mine, but it's fun when other people can chime in and tell us about how things were from their point of view as well at the same time. Comic Art Boston, look at that. You see, yes, don't really like clowns. Exactly. Exactly. A lot of people don't like him. I don't like him either. I mean, I don't get scared by them, but I find them kind of creepy in sort of, I don't know, child molesting ways, if you want to say. I don't know.
I don't know the name of the piece. It was part of a bigger piece that has even more clowns on it, but I was given a gift of it was probably 2 feet by 3 feet thing when I was a kid, and it had clown faces on it, and kind of disturbing clown faces on it. I mean, big smiles and stuff like that. And I had that in my bedroom since the time I was a kid for forever. I got married, and that piece came out of, as we're moving in and
Oh my
stuff.
gosh.
I had this piece out, and I said, I've had this since I was a kid. I've got to keep it around. My wife absolutely. That was the first thing that had to go. I am not putting up with that creepy, psychotic painting of clown faces.
And it was a full-blown painting.
I think it was like a lithograph of some
kind of
some more famous piece, and there's sort of some central clowns on the original. It's a much bigger piece, and there's some clowns in the periphery, and I don't know the name of it, but it was something that was given to me as a kid, and I thought it was cool as a kid, but then I realized how much people really dislike clowns as I got older.
Yeah. Bye-bye. It's sayonara.
Yeah. Gone. Long gone now.
That's funny. A good thing about Mitch is that what you see is what you get. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, he's gruff. He's always been kind of gruff. That's just his personality. But yeah, if you can take, straightforwardness, Mitch is an all right guy. He means well, and he is who he is. You just have to know what to expect with Mitch, and that's it. Yeah. Sold it on C-Link for peanuts. Yeah, well, whatever. That's the story of most of our collecting lives at some point or another, isn't it, Hart? You know that. Yeah. Mitch is all right. Never had an issue with him. That's good, Mickey. What's up, Mickey? Mickey, were you at NYCC? Did you make the trip? I would have thought you would have made the trip. It's not that far for you. Hard, if only we knew. Happens to all of us. Yeah, exactly. JWG art getting expensive. LOL. JWG. So many of the current guys with these 3 names, and they go by initials, right? You got the SWJ, right? What is it again? SGM.
Sean Gordon Murphy.
Right, so SGM.
There's Daniel Warren Johnson.
Daniel, right. So you got the DWJ. Who is JWG?
I don't know.
You're gonna have to tell us, #1 Marvel fan. I can't keep up with all this stuff. Indeed. Got rid of it because one panel had fading marker inks, but the rest of the page was great. What a shame, man. No, NYC too crowded. Wow. That must be true for sure. That's what everybody says. So, wow. But to not go because it's too crowded, I'm surprised, because a lot of cons are crowded, especially on a Saturday or Sunday, but hey, cool, man. If you can stay away, you don't got to attend all of them, right? So, let me see. Dan says, Bill's pieces were tough because they were so different. Did you spend $250 for his page at the time, or put the money toward Uncanny X-Men pages? It was tough to make those. Yeah, and I ended up having a couple of those Uncanny pages in my inventory as well. Those were kind of rare. Well, he only did 2 issues, right? He did that annual plus 159, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good point, Dan. Good point. Okay. All right, so we stick with Sienkiewicz, but we go to a couple of examples of New Mutants work. And the first one was one of the, I didn't get this from Mitch. I got this was one of my earliest pieces I got on eBay. And God, I loved it. Just the art is, I just love the art here. And I love what's happening. It's just so explosive. Check this out, everyone.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, from his first issue, right? And it's a DPS. I mean, just to see Professor X getting blown back that way, all those gorgeous lines to emulate the speed of how fast he got shot backwards.
Yeah.
And then the brushwork and the toothbrush work for all the spatter of blood coming out through his backside. I mean, oh my gosh, it's phenomenal.
His style, is so unique and different in New Mutants compared to his other stuff, and it was so different for the time. I remember, and I appreciate it more now. As a young kid, when you're reading other books and then you pick up New Mutants, you're like, why is it so scratchy? Why is it so weird?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, so the truth, Is it famous? I mean, it's memorable. I think that's what you mean, Hart. Right? Yes, sir, Jeff. Heck of a DPS. Absolutely. Absolutely, Marcus. Absolutely makes a statement. Oh, it was just so powerful when I, I remember, I was collecting New Mutants anyways, right? Because I've been buying New Mutants since the first issue. I loved the title. And I just remember thinking, like, wow, Sienkiewicz, he left Moon Knight and he took over and he's doing New Mutants. Wow, this is so awesome. Look how realistic that is. Like it's so different. It's like it's so illustrative rather than comic booky, so to speak, Oh my gosh. And look at that here. Number one Marvel fan was one of the haters.
Yeah, I was the same way back at the time.
Yeah. If it came out in modern day paper stock, it would have been more accepted.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
I'm not so sure about that.
Really?
I agree with that though, Marcus and Jason. No,
because I think the newsprint made it even grainier than it probably really is. Or yeah, I mean, when you look at the bottom half of that double page splash, it's still pretty clean. It's definitely his more illustrative style, but it's still pretty clean. But when that prints out, when you show the printed version, you kind of, I don't know, it just kind of gets lost a little, or more muddled, I guess.
Sure. I mean,
maybe it was the coloring of the time that made it weirder too.
Yeah, newsprint, the printing techniques of the time, the coloring, it all kind of conspired to get really illustrative artists like Sienkiewicz. Really sort of, I mean, most artists suffered. Their work suffered through the printing process and the coloring process and the printing process of the time.
Yeah.
But especially illustrative guys like Sienkiewicz, It was kind of, they believe me, these guys would get handed a copy once it got published. Here's a copy, and they'd look through. Oh, let me see how my work turned out, and they'd be like, ugh, like every time.
I'm sure.
What's that? Like what happened here? That's just how it was. What are you gonna do? But it was a product. Again, delivered through a mechanism intended for children at the time, and that's just the way it goes, right?
To be read and trashed.
But exactly. But I just wanted to quickly say, just for your sake, Jason, and for number one Marvel fan, and for anybody else listening, those of you especially who never get a say here because you watch on Rewind, not live, and you don't comment, wanted to say that I could tell you my experience from having been there back then in those days at the comic shop. I could tell you that it was a pretty much split 50-50 with every issue coming out of New Mutants, and half the people in the store being like, what is this shit? Oh my God, this is crap, and then the other half going, oh my God, this is brilliant. Oh my God,
Yeah, my friend down the street, he was a New Mutants collector and he loved it. He thought every issue was better than the one before. And I was the X-Men collector, and I said, what the hell are you talking about? Look at the art in the X-Men. What is this? So,
yes, exactly. Marcus, good point. In those days, everybody just wanted anything X-Men related, especially to look like Byrne. We were coming off the Byrne run, right? Not long before that. And it was just, everybody was so Byrne, X-Men, Byrne, X-Men, Byrne, X. It became the thing for the next 40 whatever years. If you think about that, it's still up there in the highest regard, right? As some of the, considered some of the best stuff ever. So he's right. It was just that certain look. And so anything that really drastically departed from that look, mainstream comic booky, it was just like, oh, that's crap, that's junk, whatever, exactly. Number one Marvel fan. If it looked way off from Bernard Perez, I didn't like it. That's exactly what a lot of people's attitude was. Exactly. So this was a point where Marvel was going to cancel the book for sales and cost excuses after first year. Newsstands weren't carrying it much. Yes, it's true. It's very true. Me too. Yeah, you were my part of my 50%, Rick. Loved it right out of the gate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like I said, that's how it was. It was half the people loved it, half of them hated it, and that was it,
I did find his covers intriguing. I mean, his Demon Bear covers were just captivating, and it really made you want to pick up the book and find out what the heck is this about.
No, yeah. Oh, what about about all the painted cover? I mean, from
the Legion covers, yeah.
Yeah,
When Legion is being introduced in the series, yeah.
I just felt all of them were just superb. It was just like, wow, this is like he's revolutionizing. You know, the same way that Neil Adams revolutionized comic book work with his bringing advertising illustration to comics in the 60s with Ben Casey in the newspaper strip, and then bringing that into mainstream superhero comics with these realistic facial expressions and body poses.
Right.
Same thing. It's like, and how ironic and not so coincidental. Sienkiewicz was almost a protege. He wasn't. It's not like he was working with Neil really, but he loved Neil's work, which is why his early stuff looks like, you know, very heavily Neil influenced. But then as he branched out and started doing his own thing, he also, like Neil, brought in influences from outside of comics, right? Not advertising, illustration, but per se, but magazine type illustration, you know? Yeah, man. And whether it was pen and ink or paintings, I just thought it was just phenomenal. So, yeah, revolutionary for sure, I think, you know, so he's absolutely up there. Okay, so the last and final Sienkiewicz piece. Oh, no, sorry, second to last. I forgot there's one painting after this, but it's the last New Mutants piece, everyone. And, before we go to it, let me just quickly say, hey, Mark, what's up? In the 80s, Time Magazine used to illustrate portraits for covers, yes, and Sports Illustrated and Rolling Stones also used illustrations instead of photography. Exactly. I love that stuff. Great era. It was kind of it was dead by that point. I mean, photography had started taking over in the 60s already, and then especially into the 70s, and more, you know, painted cover art just went away more and more, you know, especially into the new millennium. And Bill saw this as an opportunity to make comics more like what was in magazines. Absolutely. You know, well said. So last New Mutants piece, everyone. And speaking of Legion, and speaking of people who love to try to make things hot and speculate, so I had this piece, and nobody wanted it. I mean, frankly, it's not the most attractive looking page overall. Take a look. Okay.
I can see why.
Yeah. But that is the birth page of Legion, the first time he appears in a comic book, right there at the bottom, as he's sort of exorcisting, floating above the bed. Yeah. And I put it up there for, first ever appearance of Legion in that bottom panel. I think I must have asked $175 or $200 or something. And I think I probably had it for 2 years before somebody finally bought it, you know. But like I said, not the most attractive looking page. There's no really, you know, New Mutants on it. My favorite part was that first panel, because I love that Bill did that on a separate duo shade board, which I had explained to you last time. It's that thing where it's got these different dotted patterns, and with different types of chemicals that you spread over it, it gives you different dotting type patterns, you know. And so he did that on that board, and then just cut out that head and pasted it in as the first panel, you know. So that's how that was done.
It's really cool.
Oh my God, that's $1 million piece now. It probably is, because hey, Legion had a TV series at one point, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. He had his own FX show. There you go. $1 million page for sure. Whoever I sold it to must be a multimillionaire now. My gosh. Okay, everybody, let us move on to the last and final Sienkiewicz piece in this extensive show and tell of my old dealer inventory. And this was near and dear to my heart because I love the character. And the only Sienkiewicz painting I ever owned, no, that's not true. I just remembered something else I owned. Okay. never mind. Not the only, but one of the few Sienkiewicz paintings I owned. But from a series I really loved back in the day, and a lot of people have a fondness for. Check this out. So what if Conan the Barbarian were stranded in the 20th century? Of course, this is back in the day when stories like that were considered like, yeah, what if? How crazy would it be if you took a character like Conan and put him in modern era comics, right? And now nowadays they'll cross over anybody in the regular Marvel or DC universes, right? Conan, I think Conan has been an Avenger at this point.
Yeah, exactly. This has been painted right after Sienkiewicz saw one of the Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
Looks like a Dirty Harry cover.
Yeah, a Dirty Harry piece, you know. That's so funny.
Is that on heavier board then, since it's painted, or is that on?
So, if I'm trying to remember what this one was on. I'm trying to remember if it was on a thinner illustration board, or if it was just on regular bristle with tape on the edges. And I gotta tell you, if it was on illustration board, it was on really thin illustration board. It wasn't on a typically thicker one, like an 1/8 inch thick. But I do remember it being thicker. Yeah, but it was essentially regular size. Yeah, so it wasn't like overly large or anything like that, you know. But yeah, no, I thought it was cool. But look at the difference in printing, how the colors just get so screwed up. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, what happened there? Like, it's just, it's unbelievable. Can you imagine being the artist? You worked your ass off,
right,
painting this, right? And then you see it's like, it's all disappeared. Look at the bottom part of the cover. Like
the face is totally is quite lost in the color printed version. Yeah. It's
like it all turned black. Right? Like all the paint turned black. Like, what the hell is that? You know? 83 Bill is the best, says Marcus. A crazy mashup. Yeah, back then. Oh no, do they? Because you inquired, so you know. Oh boy. Oh well. What is best in life? Asking punks if they feel lucky. Nice. We had to get the requisite Dirty Harry joke in there. I'm glad somebody did. And then it really has gone into the the real black hole, I guess. Rick, did they want an arm and a leg? Both arms and legs, of course. It's too dark in the print. Really, Karen? Stating the obvious with your superpowers. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. I'm having some fun with you, Karen. So Caesar, like I said, it was pretty standard, right around standard, 11 by 17. It may even have been slightly shorter than that. Yeah. So pretty. Yeah, that's what I mean by standard. Standard, give or take an inch, let's say, or half an inch, something like that. Yeah. So yeah, but it was cool. It was fun to have. And yeah, that's it for the Sienkiewicz, everybody. So that's that for that. Now we will be moving on.
At that time when you acquired the painting, was it significantly more expensive than everything else, or was it?
Gosh,
proportionately.
Yeah, proportionally, because well, no, you know what? So that was back in the day when I had that cover. That was back in the day when, like I was making fun over the last couple of weeks, everybody had something to complain about all the time. So the idea was, well, it's a painting cover. It's not a real, it's not like a real cover.
Oh, gosh.
Pen and ink, right? No, but it's true. Like even I preferred pen and ink. Most people prefer pen and ink because that's historically how most comic book work was done.
Sure.
So it's not that I had a problem with people thinking that, but it was still a cool thing to see painted covers because it wasn't the norm. Right? But because it wasn't the norm, people would bitch about the price. Like, it shouldn't be the same price as a pen and ink cover because it's not how it was normally done, And so, yeah, so that cover I probably priced somewhere in the neighborhood of no more than 1,800. Okay. And at the time, if you remember last week, I had that Dazzler cover with the Absorbing Man.
Right. Yeah.
That one I had around the same time. That one also was somewhere between 15 and 1800.
Hmm.
You know, probably priced at probably 1800. Yeah, so around the same price, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was no premium typically for the paintings, and if anything, you had to kind of discount them a bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
There just wasn't as much interest in the painted stuff because it wasn't the norm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just how it is. I you know what? I don't have a memory of. I would have remembered that, I think, Marcus. No. Getting it? No. Not. I did not acquire it from him. I would have remembered it if it was from Mitch. But I don't have a memory of how I came into it, to be honest. I don't remember anymore. Sorry. If it wasn't black and white, it wasn't real original art. See, Dan remembers. Exactly. It was considered kind of like not real. Like it's not really comic art, you know? What's up, Knights? How many more weeks will this show's focus be on your old pieces? Well, you don't have to tune in if you don't like it. But it ends next week. Next week is our final one. That's when I run out finally of the old photocopies I made of these pieces. Yeah, so it's next week. But thanks for dropping in. I appreciate you dropping in, whether you like it or not. But after next week, is it after next week? Yeah. So after next week, we don't go back to a collector show and tell just yet. We will go to a special Halloween episode. Yeah. So, and then after that, the schedule is opened up again for November. So, no, I finally get back. No, so the first week, so November 5th, finally get back to my first comic art hangout episode, a true hangout with no art to be seen, with our friend Derek. I don't know if you're still there, Derek, but what's up? And so we'll just shoot the shit, and who knows what we're going to talk about on that show. As you know, anything goes at any time on this channel, really, but especially when we come in on an actual show and an actual hangout where it's meant to be a hangout. So we'll see what happens. I don't have costumes, you know, Marcus, so I will not. Okay, good to see you're still there, Derek. Yeah, so if I had a costume, I would wear it. Nah, probably not. I prefer face paint. If I could do something cool with my face, you know, but then it still doesn't look cool because I still have to be able to read, and I use my glasses to read the screen. And no costume, no paint looks good when you have to wear glasses. So that's the crappy part about it.
It's your Clark Kent costume.
Yes, there you go. Except I can't even, because I have a hair problem. I can't even do a hair curl thing, you know. So I can't even make it look really that good, you know. Weird here. I'm the only house with Halloween deco on display. Not one jerk in an entire neighborhood has set up yet. Yeah, maybe people are just late. It's still 2 weeks away. Give it some time. And get a Captain America mask. Works wonders. Yeah. No, just get a perm. Good idea, my friend. Good idea. I should be getting that. I should be getting proof of that semi perm up on Instagram soon. I have a feeling. I'm not sure. Like I have a feeling. I put up this funny ass video last night. With sexual connotations, but like it's like so funny. It's hilarious. It's this awesome parody video of one of those old MasterCard commercials.
Oh,
you know, those priceless commercials.
Mm-hmm.
But to my shock, it got way fewer likes than I expected. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe people are a lot more conservative than I am. I don't know what it is. But the other shock was that the only comment I got on it was from my own wife. I expected her to not say nothing, but she was the one who actually at least commented, and she thought it was hilarious. So who knows? You just never know what to expect these days, what people are going to like and what they're not going to like. You know, Jason? I mean, it's...
Right.
I try.
Yeah. One of these days you'll hit the viral thing and you'll have 1 million views of one video.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You know, they're all busy this week with the Eras tour to decorate. Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed parts. I just found the previous shows more engaging, or current OA market report stuff. That's the wrong channel though, because I don't do market report stuff really. Not at least not in the sense that I think that you're thinking of it. Did you? I know, but we somebody mentioned it earlier. So I did not see it, but we spoke about it briefly earlier. Yeah. So that was pretty wild, man. That was pretty wild. But yeah, hey, look, man, I do appreciate, you know, it's not for everybody. I've said that from the beginning. I know not everybody's going to like it. Some people hate that all my content is live. Some people love that all of my content is live rather than pre-recorded. You know, some people love that it's a 2 to, you know, let's say average 3-hour hangout. Some people hate that, you know. So what can I say? I just do what I like, and I hope people like it. And I don't force anybody to watch, you know. And like you come in when you want, you don't come in when you don't want. Stay as long as you want when you're here. Leave when you don't want to be here. It's all good, you know. I don't take offense to nobody, and I get it, right? We can't make everybody happy, so. But I appreciate, like I said, every minute you give me, I appreciate it, dude. So I thank you. Yes, the priceless commercial. Thank you. All right, so let us get back into the show and tell everybody. For that, we will move on to the next artist. Next from Sienkiewicz, we have Silver Surfer number 88, double page splash, the title and credits splash by Andy Smith and Tom Christopher, with a massive battle DPS fighting image of Thanos knocking the hell out of Thor, while Silver Surfer flies around in the background. Not being
Silver Surfer's an afterthought in this one, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. It's a great double page spread.
Yeah, I think I it's one of those pieces, like, it wasn't worth that much. I was like, man, maybe it's one of these that I should keep for myself, you know, because it's not a big name artist, so therefore it's not going to be that expensive, and you know, I can afford to keep it. It's like, it's not like I'm missing out on whatever small profit I'm going to make on it.
Right.
It's not like it's going to kill, you know, kill me if I keep. But then again, what would happen is I would constantly feel that way about a lot of the pieces in the inventory. Oh, I should keep this one too because it's not that expensive and I like it. And it's like, no, it's like I keep saying, you keep thinking that way, and then your entire inventory, it becomes your collection, and then you don't have a business anymore. You're living in a cardboard box under the bridge by the river.
Right. Yeah. But you'd have some great art.
Oh, well, I'm glad you've liked it, you know. Yeah, there's been a lot of fun stuff, I think, you know. But Ruben, the hero's losing. Oh,
right.
Gosh.
10% off.
Yeah, 20%, 25 maybe, you know. But you never get high in your own supply. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. I mean, although I used to, I still used to, and it certainly made it difficult on me financially. But you know, when you're a collector, it's very difficult. It's just very, very difficult to do both. Particularly when you were like me and you started off with really zero money invested, zero inventory. You just had to build it up from, you know, one piece at a time. Yeah, so very, very difficult to do it that way, especially when you decided to go at it full time without having a secondary source of revenue, you know. So yeah, exactly. Hard losing hero, cheap page. There you go. Yeah, but I thought it was great, and yeah, so weird that I've never seen it ever again. Then again, I guess it shouldn't be so weird because like 70 to 80% of the stuff I've shown on these episodes are like that, you know. I sold it all to a bunch of people who Thanos isn't losing. Yeah, unfortunately, Thor is, you know. But and of course, I didn't do the requisite color version. Here we go for everybody who's curious as to see what it looked like in color. And here we go, a little stroke effect for the dancers among you in the dance club. But yeah, I can only assume that because in 2008, especially, a lot of the people who were in the hobby, especially the prominent ones, the guys who were considered the sort of the usual suspects, I used to call them,
Mm-hmm.
like the top 24 buyers. The guys who you always expected were the ones who were going to be buying all the cool pieces, the best pieces, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Into around 2007, 2008, they all started dropping out. The prices were getting out of control. And rather than adapt or try to, kind of look for other things, expand their horizons,
Mm-hmm.
and collect other stuff, they all decided to quit. And so that no doubt also happened to the guys who weren't the top 24.
Mm-hmm.
It happened across the board, right? Prices were going up dramatically in those days, believe it or not. And so a lot of people, they just dropped out. And so that's why I believe such a large percentage of all the stuff that I sold anywhere from 15 to 22 years ago, I think that's why it's still it's not online anywhere, because I think all those people, or the majority of those people who bought those pieces, I believe are people who did leave the hobby
Altogether,
and in doing so figured, well, why keep my gallery up or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, I'm out of this, whatever. I'll keep the art, but I'm not going to maintain the gallery. What's the point? I'm out of this. I'm not collecting anymore. I'm not going to be hanging out
Mm-hmm.
with it, socially speaking. So why bother, kind of thing. That's what I believe happened. It's the most likely case, right? It's the most likely reason to explains why most of this stuff hasn't been seen. Yeah, they're quitters. And quitters never win. Winners never quit. Quitters never win, right? But many of them did. That's what expensive art will do to you at ever rising prices,
Yeah.
So that's what it is. But thank you for that, everybody. Let us move on to the next piece. And for that, we move away from mainstream. And they are hoarding it. What's up, Tony? What's up? New York in the house. And but I think they really all have quit. But some didn't quit complaining, exactly, that the hero's getting beat or that his back is to you. Knight says, it's likely the 3+ million X-Wing sold to Dave Mandel. Well, number one Marvel fan who is here, who brought it up earlier in the show, he says that it was him. Likely some of his, and then Marcus also said that he had already pre-sold some of his originals in order to be able to pay that off. So there you go. But thanks, by the way, Knights. Thanks for, when you do show up, I like that you contribute. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks a lot. I really appreciate that, man. You bring a lot when you're around. So I love that. Thank you. So Sally, how much do you think got destroyed from 98 to 210? Sometimes people throw stuff away. No, I don't believe that a lot got destroyed in those years. No way. I mean, some stuff could have, and still to this day, some stuff probably gets destroyed from, like, a lot of the stuff that we've still never seen, for example, right? A lot of the stuff that was given or sold in the pre-internet era that went into that people either, let's say they bought it at a convention, and they bought it as, in those days, most people would pick art up at a convention, not because they were collecting, but more as a memento. It'd be like, let me pick up this is kind of cool. Let me pick up a page,
Right.
And so a lot of art went to those types of people who never got into collecting per se. They just got that piece. Some of them may have gotten a few pieces over the years, but never really became collectors. And those people ultimately may have left the comic book hobby altogether. And so those pieces stayed in drawers or in boxes that eventually, they went off to college or into the workforce. They moved out, got married, left their comics and whatever collectibles in their parents' homes, some of whom ultimately did throw out.
Mm-hmm.
So even in this recent era, that happened. But it's still a tiny minority, a tiny percentage, I feel, right? So, and eBay was around, the majority. So a little bits and pieces here and there, sure. But no, the majority is still around. You even see color guys, When people quit in 2008, did they sell all their stuff or just disappear? When I saw them disappearing, they were keeping it. So it's like they were holding it for a time, And some of them to this day still have it, but some of them also, I noticed, got rid of it slowly and quietly over the years. So it's kind of a mix of both, you know. I don't know about destroyed during divorces. Again, could it happen? Sure, it could happen. But if it happened, it was, a few minuscule, tiny pieces here and there, whatever. But nothing major, right?
So I know, I don't know when it happened, but I know Len Wein's house was damaged in a fire and a lot of art was destroyed then. And Eric Larson's house was destroyed in a fire, right?
Yeah.
So are there any other big caches of art or artists' work that you know of that were destroyed by natural causes or a fire or flood or anything like that?
Those are always the ones that come to mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really, off the top of my head, I don't remember if there were other ones. If anybody in the chat can think of any, please let us know. But I can't come up with any. Yeah. Those are the two biggest ones.
Sure.
And the Len Wein one, that's primarily memorable because it's the most kind of recent big thing, right, from 2009. But more than that, it's because he survived, which was a good thing, and his son too. But the Hulk 181 story is what went up in flames.
Right.
That's like, I mean, you can't get more historic for any original art of like any kind to go up in flames in recent times, right? Or to get destroyed in recent times. You couldn't get anything more historic than that. Like something that out of something that we knew was around. Which we did. Anybody in the hobby, kind of deep in the hobby, we knew it was around, Obviously, if we knew things like, the Marvel number ones, if we knew that those things existed, that would be even worse, right?
Right.
But out of the things that we know to exist, you couldn't get something crazier than that. Like, oh my God. Yeah, right. That's unbelievably shocking. And Naughty should see a lot more hit the market in the next 15 years as boomers pass away. That's true. Absolutely. It's all in cycles, right? So absolutely that'll happen. There was a huge mudslide in Cali that took out a hoarder in 2006. You mean a comic art hoarder or just a hoarder? Lots of early X-Men art prior to... Oh, really?
Wow.
I wonder, that must be known then, Dan, right? That must be known. Like, do you have a name of the collector? Was it known? I heard about that too.
Oh, jeez.
Art became solid paper bricks. Wow. I may have heard about it and then since forgotten, especially if no details were given at the time, That would be something I'd easily forget. But now that you're talking about mudslide, it's starting to sound vaguely familiar. So
that'd be awful.
Yeah. So, okay, sorry. This time for sure, everybody. Let's hit the next piece. And with that, we go to classic independent stuff. Cerebus from the 9th issue from the time before Gerhard came in to do backgrounds. So strictly Dave Sim pencils and inks. And this one is one of the rare pieces that I know is currently owned by somebody where we know who it is. And it's Brian Coppola or Coppola. I'm not sure how Brian pronounces his name. But I thought this was really, really cool. This is to this day, I believe, to my best of my memory, the only Cerebus page I ever owned. And to be the only one, I thought, wow, man, like it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 images of him. That's pretty wild, right? Like
it's great. Cool. Great page if you want to collect Cerebus. Yeah.
Yeah. And love the all black background.
Is that Zipatone or is that giving it that gray shade or is that...
No, it was just ink.
Okay.
Yeah, all ink with the spatter around the light circle. Again, just like a white paint with a toothbrush kind of technique.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, solid inks there in the back. Yeah, definitely killer, Rick. No, I don't remember who I got this from, Marcus, but I do recall it was just wheeling and dealing with collectors. Yeah, so just got it from some other collector guy. No, I never dealt directly with Sim. In fact, people had been dealing with him directly for years before I even found out you could do that. I really didn't know. Brian Cerebus collection is unreal. Yes, it is. So for anybody who wants who loves Cerebus, go see Brian Coppola's Cerebus collection on CAF. And never got into it. Not my cup of tea. Yeah, I never got into reading it, Hart. I've read a handful of issues. I remember the one that got me into trying it was somewhere, I think it was somewhere in the 80s. 1980s, but what I really mean is somewhere, I think the issue numbers were in the 80s, or maybe in the 50s or 60s. But it was an issue. It was an issue where he did a parody of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. And as a lifelong Rolling Stones fan, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. I have to get this issue just because, yeah, the parody of Mick and Keith. So that's the only reason I tried it. And then after that, I tried a few other issues. It definitely was not for me, and definitely Keith. Keith is awesome. Yeah, and I could never really get into it myself. So read an issue, bought from a local shop. It was weird. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, it was an acquired taste.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. Bill Pearson, who was formerly taking charge of the Wood estate, had lots of Wally Wood artwork destroyed in the fire. Wow. Some pieces in a filing cabinet survived, but were damaged somewhat. Wow. Thank you, Comic Boston. Bill Pearson. Okay, I did not know that. Wow. So this was after Wood had already passed away. Wow. That's a shame. That's a shame. Well, these things happen. That's the thing, and they'll continue to happen. Listen, there have been collectors collections that got really badly damaged in hurricanes, flooding from hurricanes. The New Jersey one from several years back. Right. Yeah. So a lot of pieces got pretty wrecked. Not permanently destroyed. They were fixable with expensive restoration. Unfortunately, but at least they survived. So, all right, this next piece, a really killer piece by a well-known inker who a lot of people didn't even know that he occasionally did penciling and inking jobs. Really killer piece from the 70s. This one's for you, Karen. So I hope you're still watching. But if not, for the rest of you Thor fans, check it out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
How's that, man?
That's great. That's got everything you want as a Thor collector.
Yeah, come on, dude. Like, full figure.
Yep.
3/4 view. He's got the classic spin the mallet
hammer. Yep.
In the circle, right? Yep. Fending off bullets a la Wonder Woman. I mean, oh my gosh, right? And in a really cool pose as well. I mean, just
that's awesome.
20-cent era, which a lot of people really, really love. And like I say, I think it's really cool that Joe,
did it all.
Yeah, he did it all. I mean, how often did he actually get to pencil stuff? Like rarely, So it's to me
that's so good.
This is all right, awesome, Karen. And this is incredible. Oh, obviously. Oh, are you mad because of what I said about your superpower earlier? I was just joking. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't. I thought you would. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't think you'd take it so seriously. I do apologize in all sincerity. I won't make fun of you again. I'm sorry. Okay. But yes. But Ruben, it's by an inker. Yeah. Nobody said that, thankfully, and shockingly, to my surprise, Marcus. I gotta say, I did well with this cover. I sold it pretty quickly. And if I remember
I would think so.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it did not take too long. And I think for those of you interested, this is probably around, I want to say 08. I think this was I think it was 7,500 ask, and I think I gave it for 6,500. Yeah, I believe that's what happened. So yeah, no, really, really, really good. What do you think this is worth today? I don't know, man. I don't know. What does everybody else think? I don't know. What do they go for these days? Like 35 grand, 40 grand?
Oh yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I don't
Somewhere
know. That's my rough guess, number one Marvel fan. I don't know, you know.
I would think somewhere in that ballpark.
But Ruben, most of Thor's helmet is blurred out. These guys are loving that. Sinnott really been doing well. What do you mean he's been doing well? You mean his art?
I think he means his art, yeah.
Okay. The bullets bounce off Thor like Superman. Well, he is, I mean, super strong, so I would think he's bulletproof, but it's that they can't get through. No, he's spinning the hammer so fast.
Yeah.
Right. That no matter where you shoot, they bounce off the hammer. Because it's like the hammer is at every single spot at any given time. I think if that right, you know what I'm talking about. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what it is. What did you say? I've been in and out. Oh, I'm not going to bring it up. I just made a little joke. The Comic Art Boston. I made a little joke because she made a comment that was, you know, stating the obvious. So I just kind of made a sarcastic comment telling her that she stated the obvious, and I said it was her superpower. And then I never heard from her again until just now when I asked if she was still there, and she made a joke about the putting the word obviously in brackets, and so she's letting me know she's upset that I made fun of her, and so I apologize for that. Don't make her do a video on you. Well, she can if she wants, I guess. $12. I don't know what the $12 is for. What's the $12 for?
The value. I think Hart was being sarcastic. And somebody asked how much would this go for?
Okay. Oh, good. Oh, so let me see. I was trying to joke back with you. Okay, well, I was so, you know what, Karen, I was so worried. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get an email from you later, like telling me how bad I made you feel, and you're gonna make me feel bad. I was like, okay, so thankfully, thank you. But I do apologize if it stung a bit. Yeah, it's all in good fun. And I must say, as Comic Art Boston says, sarcasm from me is a compliment. At least that's his own experience, and he should know. I'm good with that. And frankly, at this point, Karen, you should know too. But let us get off of that. Karen has doubled my subscribers. He's got sub envy. I have not. I have been the biggest promoter of her. So I am not envious because I have been telling people to not subscribe. You know that too as well as I do. So I got no envy on that. And you are a sarcastic bastard as well. So you know where I'm coming from. Snarky Ruben is the best. Yeah, baby. That's how the show gets even more exciting. Stop trying to explain. You will make things worse. I know. But anyway, she clarified her position, so I'm good. I don't feel so bad anymore at Comic Art Boston. Heart is very Larcon. 20-cent Thor cover for early 200s, probably $75K to start. Wow. I don't think it's that much. Sure. But okay, let's continue with the show, everyone. Next piece after that awesome 20-cent Thor cover is something that's gonna feel like a downer to everybody after that. And I apologize, but it's all going by alphabetical order. So here, let's take a look at that.
Yeah, this doesn't have the same.
Yeah, not the same cachet.
Yeah, right.
By Dan Spiegle, Blackhawk, especially with Hitler, hanging out in the corner, wall, right, staring back at us, right.
Yeah.
But amazing. Like, here we go again. It's not something with huge cachet, and yet, once again, even a piece like this, nondescript, don't know. It's not been seen since.
Mm-hmm.
It has not been seen. So it's just like, wow, it's so fascinating. I'm really fascinated by just how many people bought stuff from me back in those days and then just sort of disappeared.
Yeah,
and made the art disappear. You know? So exactly. Yes, sir. DC. Look at June prices 2022 from Heritage. What about them? Did Sinnott, are you talking about Thor 20-cent covers went for 75 grand or something, Dan?
I think he is.
Oh, okay. I don't want to look. Give me actual examples. Let me be lazy about it. And Spiegle is still very affordable for new collectors. Very true, Naughty or Nice. It's true. Very affordable. And there's not many artists you can say that about, you know. Blackhawk was offbeat, but I somehow like the title. But this cover is not really, well, Blackhawk. Thank you. It is what it is. That's strident as well. The most exciting thing is the Ronin UPC box. Thank you for really putting the nail in the coffin of that Blackhawk cover, Marcus. Okay, we're going to stick with DC. You guys are not going to get too excited. You're probably not going to get too excited for this piece or the next piece, but whatever. It's all alphabetical. We got to do it. So here we go. Catwoman Wildcat miniseries by Brian Stelfreeze, who does have a lot of fans. He's got a good following. And it's one of those rarer non-painted Stelfreeze pieces. I always thought personally it was weird in the sense that
it is weird. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like obviously something with the story is connected to why it looks like it's upside down, you know. But it looks like he looks like he's actually, instead of a rope, he looks like he's got a cane.
Yeah,
it's, you know, because it's so stiff. And because his body's so stiff, it looks like he's, I don't know, standing there. Why is he so stiff with a cane?
Yeah,
You know, I don't know. And the Catwoman kind of, it makes her look stiffer, you know? So I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah, they're just totally rigid, and it's a weird composition. It's not doing it for me.
Marcus says I'm showing it upside down. Well,
there you go.
Thankfully, I always make the effort. I take the time to track down the published versions to prove that I'm not showing it upside down. But well, that's what I said. That's what I said, Hart. The fact that it's a rope, but what's weird about it is that the way it curves and around his wrist, and he holds it, and it curves around itself, it makes it look like a fancy cane. And look at that by House of M of X homage. Available on Romita Man, says Caesar. Get it while it's hot. Mm-hmm. And I wonder what Caesar. Tell us what it's. Tell us. You might as well tell us what the asking price is, because I can tell you when I sold this. I think I sold it for $275 whopping dollars, and that would have been, I don't know, 2000, sometime between 2005 and 2008, something like that. Yeah. So I met Stelfreeze at C2E2, super talented, super nice guy. I've never met him, but I've heard the same things, Tom. So thanks for sharing that. And it's a rope cane. No, it probably is a rope. It's just so the whole thing looks stiff, and so it makes it look more like a cane than a rope, you know. Thanks, Caesar. Thank you. 1400. Okay, so at least given the fact that it's like, well, you know, a decade and a half.
Yeah.
You know, it's the multiple, the whatever 5 or 6 time multiple. Yeah, that makes sense. So I was scared you were going to say 2,500. That would have freaked me out, you know. So is that price as stiff as the figures? No, exactly. Not that bad by today's prices. Exactly. Okay. So that's enough. So this next one, everyone, it's not Marvel, it's not DC, but it's Mark Texeira. I don't know what it is. I bought it because I loved Texeira, and it was just explosive and power-packed. So that's aesthetically, I was just blown away by it. And it said Shadowhawk on it. So I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I might have some early Image era fans out there, you know. Mm-hmm. I've never been able to find a published version, though. And I've made a lot of effort, spent a lot of time, because I get very anal about that. And Yeah, I want to succeed, and I still haven't been able to find it. If any of you have ever seen this in color anywhere, please let me know, especially if you can show me proof. But here, check this out.
Oh, wow. That is killer.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's the thing. Exactly. That's what I was kind of thinking. At least I would hope once I put it out there on my website, I think even though it's not from Marvel or DC, and even if I can't ever prove that it's published, which of course I advertised it as, you know, probably unpublished. I figured I would get somebody like you who'd be like, wow, as soon as they see it. You know?
I mean, that's everything you want in a superhero fight scene, right? That's
exactly.
And
exactly.
the blood or spatter effect, and the guy who's kicking, his body is so well, you know, it's just a great illustration. His neck has got all the muscles busting out, and
yes. Comic art Boston says it's aesthetically attractive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's cool. Only one comment on that. Oh, and yes, number one marathon. Exactly. It's just power packed, dynamic. It packs a punch, you know, or a kick in this case, kick to the face or chest, what have you. Really, really cool. But yeah, anybody recognizes this, especially those of you watching this on Rewind. There's a lot more of you who will see this on Rewind. If you know where this is from, if you've ever seen this anywhere, whether in black and white or color, somewhere in print, please leave me a comment down below. I'd appreciate it. That's from Shang-Chi Magazine Comics. I do not think so, but I appreciate the comment, though. Okay, get rid of that. And no, I know, not really, Marcus. For this next piece, we're going to go to a classic piece that it's one of these awesome pieces. One of my favorite all-time comic book runs. One of my favorite comic book teams, pencil or inker teams, all time. And it's a great piece, but one of those pieces that for some reason, some inexplicable reason, because this art always sells for boatloads, but this particular piece, ever since I sold it, I think it's probably had 7 or 8 other different owners than the person who I sold it to. I don't know why, but check this one out and then let me know if you know why that would happen.
Oh, yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's, come on.
Oh.
Come on, man. I mean, this series, especially the Alan Moore, Bissette, Totleben run, it has such an amazing following with good reason. You know, I mean, and it's the 50th issue, right? The double-sized issue. You know, it's the issue where they got Dead Man, right? Yeah. I believe. Are they going into hell here? Because it's been so long since I read it, but I think they might be going into hell here. But it's got what's his face, Cain and Abel.
Yeah. You know, if you split that apart, if you just sold those as separate pages, they would just be fantastic. But as a double page spread, it's awesome. I have a friend who would absolutely die to have had this page back when you were selling it.
Yeah, and I only sold it back in those days for, I want to say it cost me $1,600, and I think I think I sold it for like $2K.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So those are the kind of margins I had to work with. It wasn't easy, you know. But yeah, that's really nice. Absolutely, very, very sick, Naughty. Yes, in hell. Thank you, Hart. But Ruben, it's towards the end of their run. Nah, thankfully, I can say that didn't happen. Yeah, Battle in Hell. Yes, exactly. I'll explain to you privately how it happened. My screw up though. But you knew it wasn't because I never. No, exactly. I know that you have it. My screw up because of my idiotic idea to have put it in the R's for Romita in the first place. So that was my problem. Yeah, it's because they had drawn it or whatever, penciled and inked it, and then covered it up. And then they redid the word "the," Marcus. That's why. So there you go. But, oh, and of course, how could I forget to do this? Yeah.
Oh, go back to the pen and ink. It's so much better.
How about you want to dance? Dance a little, everyone. There you go. But yeah, pen and ink, absolutely so much better. But yeah, fantastic. I like I said, no, but I do feel bad. Because I knew that if you caught it, you would say something. So I do apologize. But no, this piece, yeah, like I said, it's had not just a different owner other than the one I sold it to, but like I said, 7 or 8. Like for this piece to keep changing hands every couple of years, I just don't get it. I don't get it, because most pieces from that run don't change hands that quickly,
It's probably every time somebody needs to raise money, they know that piece will sell. And so if they're going to look to buy something bigger for their collection, that's the piece that they know that they can.
But if that's the case, why that? We still have to ask why that piece. I mean, like, why not another kick-ass Bissette Totleben Swamp Thing piece from the Alan Moore run?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, why that one? Why that one? Like that's what I'm trying to,
understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out here. So anyways, yeah, that's there you go. Okay, so because I love you as I do, Comic Art Boston, and I do, of course, apologize that I cannot do it the usual way, obviously, because it's sort of like off the cuff, on the spot as we're live here. And before I tell you what I'm going to do, yes, it's been, Marcus, it's been on HA, I know. More than once, I think. Maybe it's cursed and kills its owner every single time, yeah.
It's an Alan Moore related thing, it might be, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that actually, Marcus. I remember him having it. Why so many times is the question. Exactly. That's my point, right? Donnelly's have most of the Constantine first appearances. Okay. But yeah, so what I was saying was for you, and in honor of you, Comic Art Boston, I won't have all the info up and I won't have the published version for show. And of course, it's out of order now, no longer under S. And following in sequence with the T's now that we are in. But what the hell, since we always do things that were not planned on my shows, I do want to show everybody this piece that I could have put either under Kirby several episodes ago or at the end of last episode under Romita. So to have a look at this, and you might want to stretch yourself out over towards the left of your screen so you're not blocked right now, Jason.
Okay.
Yeah, the other way.
Other way?
Like I'm doing. Yeah, there we go.
All
right. There we go.
There
we go. So this is Spidey Super Stories with a Fantastic Four, at least half of the Fantastic Four appearance. And it's so cool because, like, what a weird matchup. Kirby with John Romita inking.
Yeah.
And what I loved about it, though, was trying to study it for so long and trying to figure out who did what here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I wonder if it was Kirby pencils on the Fantastic Four and the buildings. And maybe he said, okay, here, John, you draw the Spidey. You draw
I could buy that.
Spidey figure. Because that could happen, Yeah,
I could buy that.
Or could he have also roughly laid out the Spidey figure as well and Romita still finished the pencils, tightened it up with pencils, and inked it. And then Romita still, smoothed out all the inks, because the finishes look smoother than Kirby's usual work at the time, right?
Yep, I agree.
So it also makes me think maybe Kirby laid out the entire thing and only laid it out. So his pencils were rough, right? It's roughed. So that's why you have much more of a Romita smoother finish on everything. So it's just interesting that it's one of those mysteries you can kind of just stare at it and keep wondering about, come up for reasons on why it looks the way it does. But it's just fun that it's got both of those giants of the industry working together on Marvel's first family, which was the first comic that launched the Marvel universe, right? And then the follow-up, which was the Spidey, which really took the world by storm. So yeah, I just think it's fabulous and a lot of fun, a cool way to get a piece by these two giants, and it was awesome. It was awesome that the Cab was the guy that got it from me. So now let me go backward and read a few comments, because I haven't been reading them. And let me see. Oh, okay, saw that one. Jason, you getting the HasLab Giant Man? HasLab. Oh, Giant.
No, I'm passing on that one.
There you go. Quick and easy. Oh, no, you're embarrassing me. I guess I was the author of my own problem. You asked for it, Comic Art Boston. You asked for it. Just needs easy reader. Yeah. Sweet cover cab. Wonderful cover cab. Makes me feel like a kid again. Kirby definitely didn't do Spidey. His Spidey was always too blocky. Kirby Spidey is very distinct. I know that, guys. But I could have roughed, roughed it in, just a stick figure type of thing. It's possible. Naughty says it's gorgeous. Yeah, I loved it. Those were the days when I could afford to purchase a piece like this. Yeah, exactly. And damn. And you're very, very welcome. Absolutely, absolutely. Congratulations on a great pickup back in the day, Cab. So there you go. Excellent. Okay. So I'm glad I could show it in the end. And let me tell you, everyone, I would never complain about being behind on my episodes every time, because of all the time it takes to do those slides. I would never complain if I could do every show and tell like this, where if all I had to do was save the scan from the collector's gallery and then just upload them like this without ever having to go and look for the color version or do the research to find out the year it was published and who inked it, to be sure I get the inker correct, the attribution. If all I had to do was this, the lazy way, holy shit, I would be I wouldn't be happy in terms of how it looks, because it looks like it's the cheap way to do it. But boy, would it be awesome to not ever have to do any work any week. Oh my God, this would be upload, just clicking buttons. Oh my God, that'd be so awesome. But whatever, I do it all for you. So that's it. There you go.
It's appreciated.
Thank you. No, you're welcome. I appreciate that you appreciate it. So, hey, bootlegging, what's up? How did it go, Dan? Survived it. So that sounds like it was in that. Must have been busy and jam packed. I'm assuming, Okay, let us get this one off here, everyone, and go to the next piece. And real quick though, since it's 9:49, not quite 10 o'clock yet. Now let me just go and remind everybody that Nicky B was off this Friday because he was at New York Comic Con. I presume that he is going to do a show this coming Friday, even though I could not find the show scheduled. I'm not saying it wasn't scheduled, but if it was, I could not find it. And nobody from Dynamite sent me the link, since Nicky B himself is usually the one who handles that himself. But he should have a show this Friday, so tune in. It's at, might as well put it up on the screen for those of you who don't know. It is youtube.com/theexp. So very simple and easy to remember. And it is an art show, an art claim show / talk show for those of you who don't know. So 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. Check it out on the EXP. And there we go. And let me remove this one as well. Sorry, everyone. There we go. Thank you. Before we get to the next piece of art, real quick. Oh, okay. Bye, honey. Have a good evening. Good night.
Vivian.
And the Deep Purple Machine Head Way. Lazy. You said it. Reset it, Rick. Well, I guess I said it too, though. Jam-packed hunting sketchbook committee. Oh, wow. Okay. Good. I hope you had success with that. Very cool. EXP me. Good day, okay. Good day, Cab. Saying bye-bye. Good night. Have a great week, Vivian. Good night to Mrs. Chu. There you go. Excellent. So, yeah. So, Karen, just in case you don't want to admit that you were angry with me at my joking about you, and you don't want to admit it publicly, I also knew that you would love this, because after this next one, you've already seen the 3 that follow it, because I shared them with you recently privately. This one I didn't share with you, and I know you would appreciate it. So this one's for you, Karen, and for a bunch of you also who I know would appreciate it. So let's see this one, everybody. Now we are moving, FYI, away from Totleben, and we have reached the point in the show where we show Trimpe.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Oh, yeah. So all the G.I. Joe fans out there, there you go. The only G.I. Joe cover from the sort of early days that I ever had my hands on. And at least it was a sub number 10 cover. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pre-Snake Eyes, unfortunately. I know everybody wants Snake Eyes. But,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the whole motif of the Cobra Commander helmet.
No, if you're a kid of the 80s, this nails it all.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. This, yeah, I thought this would be awesome. Yes. But I'm glad that here you go. So awesome. I'm glad you appreciate it, Karen. Yeah, no, I thought it was cool. It was fun to have. And let me tell you, these things were never, ever, ever in any supply. Ever. In my time in the hobby, they were never in supply. Like, rare as hen's teeth is is putting it mildly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, interior pages or covers. Early interior pages especially, or covers. Yeah. It was just like, absolutely, yeah, man. Yo, Joe. Yeah, I know, Mark. I didn't want to get into that. Let's not even bother, Oh, even you will love it. #1 Marvel fan. Love it. Awesome. I had a feeling you might, but I wasn't sure. And knowing is half the battle. Oh, man, I wonder if my friend owns that. How do you not know, Naughty, if your friend would own something like this? Yes, the October Guard. Hi, Caesar. Mr. DC himself. Wow. I'm a little surprised that this was up your alley, Caesar. Are you a Transformers guy as well, or just you were into a G.I. Joe? Yeah, Tom. I guess a lot of us did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that! Oh, damn! I love that G.I. Joe cover. Awesome. Oh, good. Oh, good. I knew people would like it. I just wasn't sure how many. So a lot more than I expected. So that's a lot of fun. It's
no, that hits all the buttons.
Fun to see. Good. Well, if you think that hits your buttons, I'm assuming because a lot of Joe guys were also Transformers guys. Were you a Transformer guy?
I was not.
You were not. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I liked the cartoon, but I never had the toys. They were too expensive, and just never got into those. Star Wars and G.I. Joe were my thing.
Okay. All right. Just G.I. Joe. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Caesar. I collect G.I. Joe, have everything from 82 to 88, right? Well, you're a toy guy, and you're a comic art guy. Yeah. So, or prop guy, I should say. But that's awesome. Okay, well, yeah, hopefully there's some Transformers fans here, because at least the next cover is like one of my favorite. I think it is my favorite Transformers cover from the run, not used for the first issue. I don't know who the hell owns that piece of shit by Sienkiewicz, but that thing's worthless because it's not black and white and ink. You know what? You know how that goes, Jason.
Right? Yeah.
Well, the painted #1 cover. That crap.
It's not real.
No, it's not. It's not a real cover, right? Obviously. Oh, look at that! So sweet. Karen at least admits to everyone: G.I. Joe, Transformers, and My Little Pony. Awesome. But that's okay. You can admit that because on your show and tell with me, you did mention that you went and tried to buy some My Little Pony art. So that's okay. We know that about you already. So very nice. I like people who are honest about themselves and their collecting anyway. So yes, Transformers art worthless. Absolutely. Not number 6. Not number 5. I still haven't seen number 5 by Mark Bright. Shockwave 1 is the best.
That would be sweet.
Everybody's going to have their own favorites, whatever. But anyways, let me show it to you and then whatever. You can comment however you want to comment. Oh, hold on. Didn't you just buy a Transformer cover, Marcus? Did you? Yes, you did. And he just posted it. Interesting cover. Yes, go check it out in Marcus's gallery. Yes. I don't know how you were so fast on that one. Methinks Marcus has friends on the inside. I have a feeling we're talking about 80s Marvel. I am. But still, that doesn't matter. Wife and I collect strawberry shortcake. Cool. Care Bears, Rainbow Bright. That's cool. I love Smurfs. Probably 800 of them. Wow. Look at it. See, all it takes is for one person to admit something that might have been embarrassing, and then everybody's willing to come out of the woodwork, right? G.I. Joe, Pony, former, you mean Transformers? A mashup of the century. It's just like when I admitted, when #1 Marvel fan admitted that he had cried during the Transformers movie. Remember? Right? And then once he did, everybody came out of the work and started admitting what movies they had cried to. Yeah, so that was awesome. I like truth. I like honesty. That's awesome. No, I got a rejection email. Maybe someone dropped out on it. Really? So you were second in line, I guess. Interesting. Number 5, Transformers are all dead. Yeah, that's cool. Shockwave covers my fave. That was cool. Mark Bright. I don't know if anybody has that in their collection or if Mark still has it. But okay, let me show it to you. Oh my God, Tom, I still have my copy of Transformers 1 with that shitty painted cover. Of course. Because you're going to use it to wipe your ass one day when the Armageddon hits us and we run out of toilet paper because people are hoarding it, right? So you got to keep that copy on standby just in case. Stan Bush's The Touch song was awesome. I don't know that song. Oh, the Transformers song. Okay, that's funny. All right, so here we go, everyone. Sorry for the delay, you rewind watchers that have to keep fast forwarding. But let me show you the cover. Trimpe, beautiful thin line Trimpe. See, this is awesome to me because it's got, I think, my favorite Transformer. It's got Optimus Prime.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yep.
And come on. And he's blasting his own Transformers. He's like killing the Autobots. And who cares? Even if it was the Decepticons, he's standing there full-figured, blasting other,
Autobots. Yeah.
Yeah. Autobot, other Transformers, whether they're good or bad, who cares, right? It's like, he's the leader of the good guys blasting away a bunch of, some more Transformers. Like, how is that not going down as one of the best covers of the run? Oh, I don't know, man. To me, it's one of the best. That's how I see it. I got 1 to 3 and 4 to 6 from 3 packs. Oh, cool. And then the one you really love is the one you couldn't get from the 3-pack, which is number 5. That's awesome. You got the touch. You got the power. Maya. What? Oh, you must be singing the song. But Ruben. Oh no, here we go. Why would he kill his own guys? Slash that price in half. Love that cover. Finally, I get some love from somebody else. Come on, man. How much would this sell for today? I've seen some of the later covers, later in the run, that have characters that are not well known, sell for several thousand, like $5,000 or something. So this being Trimpe, featuring the #1 Autobot? Come on. This has got to be, I don't know, like how much would this be? 15 grand, 20 grand? Not like, I don't know. But I wanted Megatron so damn badly back then, never got him. Fun fact.
I really enjoy that the Trimpe rendering on this piece. The real, like you said, the fine line.
Yes, very fine lines, right? It's so different from what he used to do. This is not Trimpe typically, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Very beautiful fine line stuff all over. Like, yeah, some really beautiful stuff there. So yeah, I really loved it. I hope that you're enjoying the brand new Transformers series, Tom. Yeah, very cool. USA and Japanese color Transformers toy box paintings are the grails of Transformers art. Yeah, but are they out there, Knights? Are they out there? Oh no, yeah, naughty. 5 figures for sure. I know that. I just don't know how much, you know. Trimpe in disguise. Yeah, exactly. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So anyways, okay. Not as much love as I kind of expected on that one. So that one is not getting love. This next one and the one after definitely ain't going to get much love. This next one was a nice counterpart to the first one because this one features a large full figure image of the leader of the bad guys. So this one is the Decepticon.
Everybody likes the bad guys, though. This will get more love. Everybody likes bad guys.
I'm telling you, I don't know. But the problem is people are going to say, Marcus, give me your best. Give me your best. But Ruben, give me your best one on this. Okay. I want to see, I want to see if you can nail it. There we go. Transformers, another fairly early one, number 20, also by Herb Trimpe, still using the same very, very, very fine line style, you know? So I thought, like, wow, man, that's like that's really cool. Full figure, Decepticon. I was like, yeah, this is, yeah, to me, this is one of the better covers. Let me see. Let me go to the comments and see if anybody has said. Nah, Marcus. Good try. Who wants the bad guys? No. There you go. He nailed it. Awesome. But Ruben, it was like, why is he facing off with the other Autobot to draw and acting like he's a cowboy? And why is that girl?
Right.
Why is the cowgirl at the bottom? Why are the robots acting like they're cowboys? Exactly. That's awesome, Marcus. You got it, baby. I knew I could count on you. Awesome. Oh, that's so funny. Me and robots don't suck, but cowboys do suck on covers. Went to JoeCon in Rhode Island years ago. Did tour of Hasbro. They had an entire room set up for us for original box and card art. Oh, so Hasbro still has a lot of that stuff.
Well, that's cool.
Interesting. Okay. Awesome. Is that Skyscream? I don't even know.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out who that is, and he's drawn kind of weird. I don't remember what his shape is or what he's supposed to be. Yeah.
I don't know. What can I tell you, everyone? It is what it is. It is what it was. All right. So let me blow through this next one real quick. Last Transformer covers by Trimpe. I never cared about this stuff because they weren't sort of like trucks and cars and airplanes anymore. You think I would have loved it because like a lot of kids, a lot of male children, I love dinosaurs. But I actually was like, maybe because I was already too old. I was like 15, 16, 17.
Oh, yeah, when the Dinobots came out.
Right. I was like, what? Robotic dinosaurs? Oh, yeah, so stupid. That's how I felt, you know? I don't know. Maybe I would like it. I don't know. But here we go. Let's check this out. So another fairly early one, and number 27. And again, cool that it's another Trimpe cover, pencils and inks. I thought that was pretty awesome about it. But yeah. It never, and you know, it's a really large image. I just don't know if that's a popular, out of all the Transformer dinosaurs, was that a popular dinosaur? I don't know. I don't know who it was because I just didn't stick around for that.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it is what it is. Looks like Skids. Who? Her? The girl there? Let me see. Don't think so. Okay, you're talking about coffee. Okay. Triptychon. Of course, Derek knows. Trypticon. That doesn't even sound familiar to me. So I'm going to go with he's not that popular of a dinosaur.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think they were competing with Voltron at that time because those could all merge together to make one bigger one, right? Couldn't they? I think they could.
Say again?
I think they were also competing with Voltron at the time because I think, if I recall correctly, the Dinobots could merge together to make a bigger Transformer, I think.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. But Ruben, the popular dinos are tiny. Skids was on the cover of. Oh, that was Skids. Okay, that's why. Yeah, that's why this one kind of. She's blonde. I guess she thought might be her, but it's not her. Okay. Thanks for clearing that up, though. Of course, Derek. Appreciate that. Karen's Pages. Trypticon was a huge toy. You mean in size or you mean in popularity? I'm going to say it was one of those gigantic robot toys in size. That's what I think you mean by that. The Robeson Grimlock looks really cool. Robeson? Who's Robeson or Robeson? Grimlock, I know, is the name of a Transformer. Dinobots and Constructicons were it as a kid. Not kidding. Extremely popular. Really? Maybe with the younger kids, perhaps, I guess. Maybe that's what it was. Trimpe also drew the Godzilla comics, so he had some experience drawing dinos. True, but that was a lot sort of longer ago, you know? Well, no, I guess it wasn't that long ago. Maybe a decade-ish. Yeah. Thanks, Karen, for clarifying. Yeah, that's what I figured, in size. Yeah. He's very rigid, though. Okay. Oh, I didn't. Look at this. Robeson equals a self-transforming high-end electronic toy. All right. I guess I don't follow the toy market, so that explains that. Like Robeson Optimus Prime, an actual transforming toy. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. But okay. So, everyone, although we technically have like 12 pieces still to go, tonight's show is probably going to end much faster than usual because the next 11 pieces, I believe, we're not going to stop and talk about each and every one. We're just going to sort of talk about them in general as I flip through them, similar to how we did the Sienkiewicz Moon Knight stuff last week. This next upcoming piece, it's not a single piece. It's an 11-page story, a Silver Age story. And yeah, I just don't see any need why we should stop and talk about every single page. But I'll show them. I'll show the pages. We'll go through them, just talk about it in general. And everybody's still talking about the toys, the Transformer toys. They all connect. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about my story? I don't know. But yeah, 11 pages, 11-page story. And yeah, we'll talk in generalities. But so this is a page. I guess let me look through it. We'll look through it. And then at the end, I guess maybe I'll tell a little anecdote that comes with having acquired it and then moved it as a dealer early in my dealing days. Okay. My next 11 pieces. Yeah. Like I said, it's a story. So it's 11 consecutive pages of a story. Okay. So some of these have been seen since I sold them.
Somebody broke up the story?
Yeah, that's part of my anecdote that I'll tell after.
Right.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Hold on. More talk about the toys. All right. So let me start off with the first page. I guess I could spend a little bit of time on the first page since it's the first page splash. And it is a Silver Age story, everybody. This is George Tuska. We're moving to from Strange Tales 166, Tuska with beautiful Adkins inks, and currently owned by David, Iron Man fan. And kind of a kooky, wacky story with pretty much, very, very much back in the days when, they were still writing for children. and Doctor Strange fighting this ridiculous looking sort of 50s era robot, you know. But beautiful, beautiful art. The inks are exquisite. I love the usage of the Zipatone
for that
to create the special effect on
that's cool.
On the magic being used, you know. It's got the classic, you know, tagline at the top that nothing can halt Voltorg, which is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, just a lot of fun. Now, thankfully, I was just going to say, thankfully, I'm not the one who broke it up, so I didn't have to hear people say this. But Ruben, Doctor Strange has his back to us. Exactly, Marcus, exactly. I didn't have to deal with that, thankfully. So there you go. But okay, let us check out the next few pages, everybody. This is panel 2. Anytime you want me to just stop and make some comments, just let me know, Jason, for sure. So that's kind of fun four panel page. More excellent use of Zipatone in the background in the first and last panel. Right? That's really, really beautiful. Like here, the action begins.
The action's good here.
Yeah. Nice images of Doctor Strange. You know, I love the fire raging throughout, you know. And we go from page 3 to page 4 here. So more action with the robot getting into the action, blasting Doctor Strange.
Yeah, more better Doctor Strange images,
Yeah, he's in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 out of 5 panels. So, it's good content, good solid content. We go to page 5. Still really, really nice. And look at that. I mean, I love that first panel. Look at the multiple images of Doctor Strange. He's using his power there. I love the little details behind Doctor Strange in the second panel. The stairs.
The third panel's a great panel.
Yeah,
well done.
The bottom panel, it's got a lot of details in the background, filling it out. So credit to Dan Adkins. He's done a lot of great work on this story for sure.
The cape work there in the
says,
too. Yeah.
I wish that was Professor X, Marcus. I wish. I wish. Then it would have been worth an extra $100 for the whole story.
Right. Add another 0.
So let me see. So that's page 5. And then we go to page 6 here. So this one's one of the weaker pages, probably the weakest page of the book because it's only one page of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Then we go to page 7. So this is kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
You got the bald guy, you got
great robot close up.
Yeah, cool robot and Doctor Strange in 3 panels. It's happening in action again. I love all the explosion and explosion lines in the backgrounds. It adds, it jazzes up, the backgrounds. So it's really, really nice. Good, solid content if you're looking for like old Doctor Strange stuff,
Yeah, that's the thing. It's very much of its era. It's got all the right stuff.
Yeah, look at that 3-panel page, nice large panels, all horizontal. Right? Doctor Strange in every single one of them. So that's really, really cool.
It's funny, if that was a Kirby robot, the detail would be like amped up 3 times.
Yeah. Adkins was a great artist. Yes. Yeah. A great penciler and an inker. So he learned under wood. Exactly. That's why he had a lot of that in his own work. Exactly. Very well said, Comic Art Boston. Thank you. And then page 9, another 3-panel page with more action. Only 2 panels of Doctor Strange, although you barely see him in the last one. And then we go to page 10, where again, only in 1 panel.
1 panel, yeah.
Again, but there's a lot going on in each panel.
Yeah, the first panel is great. It's got the space behind it and all the machinery.
Very cool, sort of science fiction-y type stuff,
Kind of has a Forbidden Planet movie.
The feel to it, yeah. And then the final page, page 11. That's a
killer.
Page. That is so killer. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a great page.
That is so good. I mean, now it's like you end with Doctor Strange in every single panel.
And the ancient one.
I mean, the Ancient One's there, and then the center panel is fabulous. I mean, we don't have to say why. It's clear why the center panel, the magic money shot. But I love the fact that he's kind of that Doctor Strange in the first and second panel, they're using those Star Trek beam me up Scotty things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know? So that's really fun. So yeah, it ends super strong. Yeah, Rick, exactly. A killer end page. So so that's really cool. So a great way to finish that story. Now I can tell you guys the story, a little story to that. And actually, before I even tell it, let me quickly check here. So in front of me here on my desk for the last 20 whatever years, I have one of these, what do you call these little metal things where it has a couple of 2 or 3 trays that you can put like papers on. You know,
just an in or out tray.
Yeah, an in or out type tray. Yeah, exactly. So I had this for a couple, 20 some odd whatever years, and somewhere in here, I still have details of some deals that I did back in the day. Okay, hold on, because sorry everyone, I know this is live. Let me just see if it might be fun if I can find it. So here I got one. Okay, so I got some information from my old trades from back in the day. So the one I'm looking for is not here. So it's got to be in my tray somewhere. But of course, I'm not gonna bother continuing to look for it since we're live. Okay, but I just figured I'd give you guys some fun information, some backstory as to how I acquired and got rid of that story, the Silver Age story. So first of all, Ruben has my credit card number from 1998. I do not. Yeah, so I acquired it from a dealer in, I want to say 1998. He I haven't heard from him in years. He's had Parkinson's since I knew him in the 90s. He had Parkinson's. And I haven't seen him in so many years. I can only assume it's gotten really bad, and that's probably why he stopped attending conventions. It's not a good thing. So that's why I'm not mentioning who it is. Some older people who've been around since the 90s. You may know who I'm talking about. Feel free if you want to mention it, but I just figured I'd rather not. So I picked that story up from him for cash, and I bought it. The 11 pages cost me of the whopping sum of, well, I bought it in 98. You want to guess how much they cost me? The complete story cost me?
It's 11 pages. I'll say $1,200 for the.
Holy shit, you son of a bitch. Oh my God. I paid exactly $1,200 for that. $1,200. See, Rickster, you really thought it was cheap. No, but $1,200. Not a Canadian guy. Nah, man, New York, baby. I'm surprised, Marcus. I thought you would know, although because you would have seen him in San Diego. He used to go to San Diego all the time. So it was $1,200. Now, I bought it for inventory, right? But I was starting with only a few pieces of inventory and no money, right? I didn't have cash I didn't have capital to start with. So I had to build up the business by building up the inventory by buying and selling on eBay, right? So buy, sell, like that, right? One piece at a time, literally, And so, yeah, and like I said, I don't know that it's a bad thing to mention it. I just feel like I feel so bad because of what his issue is that I just feel bad. But anybody else wants to mention it, feel free. I just don't know. It's just me personally. I'd rather not. Yeah. So I had to buy and sell, and the other way you could build inventory was by trading. So I traded that story, and what you do with trading is you figure you buy something at a certain price that you feel is already worth more, right? So in my head, when I saw that the price was $1,200, that was really good for me because he actually wanted $1,300, and I tried to get a deal, but in my head I was like, man, this thing has got to be worth $1,800. Okay, so I'm like, this is $1,800 for sure. So I got the deal at $1,200. He knocked $100 off. So I'm like, excellent. If I can sell it for $1,800, I make 50%, right? But I said, if I trade it, I can say, well, I'm asking $1,800 cash. If you want to buy it for me in trade, because I'm looking for cash. So if you insist on only giving me trade, you're going to have to give me more than $1,800. So now suddenly I can get more like $2,200, $2,300, right? So I did a deal with Berkey. And I did a deal where I just took a bunch of like covers and splashes in the $250 to $400 range. That in the end, when all was said and done, when I cashed out of that stuff, I did probably cash out somewhere around $2,500. You see how that worked? So that's how I did it, right? You just kind of build on it and you build on it. Yeah, and it wasn't by being one of these asshole dealer types who's like, oh, I just bought this in full view of everyone at Heritage, paid full retail value, and now I'm just jacking it up by another 50 or 100%.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And thereby causing false inflationary pressures on the market. Whatever. So, yeah. So whatever. So that's how that went. I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing. But to finish that story, the sad thing was that back in those days, I was naive about the way certain things worked. See, I thought that because I have such a strong love and respect for something like a Silver Age story remaining intact from 1966
right
all the way to 1998, 32 years, I thought, well, of course, everybody in this hobby is going to have that same respect for that story, and they're going to keep it intact, right? So when I did the deal with Berkey, I did the deal just automatically assuming he's going to trade it with me because he's going to put it on his site and ask probably $2,500 for it as a complete story. That's what I thought. And then almost immediately after he got the art from me, I saw it up on his website, split up with individual prices. Every pay, and I was like, what? I was like, oh no, I would never have done the deal with him if I had known that he would split it up. I mean, mind you, years later, I start to realize that this hobby wouldn't exist in the first place if these stories had never been broken up, right? And if it hadn't been for him, even if I had sold it complete or traded it complete to somebody, I firmly believe all these years later, that person or somebody else along the way, it would have ended up with somebody else who ultimately would have either broken it up or sold or traded it to a dealer who would have broken it up. Yeah, in the end, they all end up broken up, So, yeah, so that's it. And that's why, all these years later, well, I guess it's not as big of a deal. And as long as I wasn't the one doing the breaking up, it's just like relationships. I never do the breaking up. I'm a good guy, Yeah, he always has been. I just never knew at the time, I literally thought everybody had that same love and respect for the material, that they would do everything in their power to keep stories together. the ones, at least the ones that were like older, Bronze Age, Silver Age.
Right.
And I was wrong. I learned the hard way that I was wrong. Okay, so just a couple more pieces, everybody, and we can get out of here. The next piece is once more by Tuska. It's a montage splash. People would complain because, well, it's a splash, but it's a montage splash. It's not a true splash. I think I had this one for $3.75 and probably sold it for cheaper.
Oh, wow.
Iron Man, look at that. I got an oh wow right off the bat, whereas back when I owned it, it took a while to sell it because nobody wanted it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you should, after everything I've told you guys, Jason, by now you should no longer be surprised at the way people used to behave in this hobby 20 years ago,
I don't see anything wrong with the montage. It gives you your hero in, different angles, views, parts of their history. I think they're kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
it's not the big fight scene, but
sorry, can you repeat that, Jason?
I was just gonna say it's not the big fight scene between hero and villain, but it's still a really cool page.
Yeah, no, I love it. As far as montage splashes go, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's got some nice images. I especially always like that mid-tier one on the left close up.
Yeah.
It looks lovely. I love the soft Esposito inks on those fine lines, And yeah, I mean, the way he's creeping on top of the building in the top corner, left-hand corner.
Yeah, in the top right-hand corner is, even though it's from behind, it's still a good perspective.
Exactly, even from behind. Yeah, exactly. I know I know you've always told me you love it from behind. So,
jeez.
Oh, wait, whoa, you're talking about? No, sorry, that's not what I meant. No. Like, no, come on. I'm talking about when they have the figures drawn from behind. They always look kind of cool. It's like a very Neil Adams esque, Yeah. With the foreshortening that way.
Yeah.
No. It's true. It's very. There's, like I said, there's something always to be said about. Again, yes, I know you want the character from the front, but sometimes, like especially that one that you just pointed out, right from behind. I really do love how the foreshortening, with the arm, it looks like it's coming towards you. It's closer to you. You know what I mean? I love that. I don't know. It just looks cool. And on a piece like this, it just adds to the variety because it's full of variety.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get to see the character in all sorts of
right.
Poses from different angles and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, solid Esposito inks, absolutely. Tuska did a great and memorable Iron Man. Yeah, he had a good run for sure. Ruben, what's that firefly landing on his head? And I can't even believe I never even thought of that, Marcus. Now that you mention it, it didn't even dawn on me. Wow. Naughty loves it. Awesome. Thank you, Karen. Good night to you.
Good night, Karen.
Get the kids to bed. There's one last piece, just so you know. You're only missing one piece. So it's not a big deal. And but Ruben, why is Iron Man getting mounted by that guy at the bottom? All right, you've sold. You got me, man. It's $100. There you go. Somebody, please just buy it. Take it off my hands. Oh, so funny. Oh, I know who, Marcus. I wasn't surprised that he told me what he did for a living. He looked the part. It was very sad that he isn't with us any longer. Or is he not with us any longer? Okay, now I wonder if we're talking about the same person. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, but there you go. All right, everyone. Let us move down to the last piece. And as luck would have it, we move from the letter T to the letter U, only because, no, it's not Alberto Uderzo in Europe. It's unknown artist.
Oh.
Yeah. So we finish off with an unknown artist piece. And I don't even know. It's most likely unpublished. Don't know for what. Never had really any information on it. I just remember the editor's name penciled on the back, and that was it. So I never could figure out, not even what it was supposed to be meant for, you know. I'm not sure, Comic Art Boston, because like I said, I do believe he was involved in law enforcement. Not 100% sure, but I think so. Yeah, he was already fairly old. At least he certainly felt old in the late 90s. So I'm not sure how old he would be now. Yeah, but he, even then, he had a tremor in the hand. Yeah, and they just got worse over the years. So Jason, love the Sentinel figure you have in the background. Would love to get one.
Cab, I'll send you a message. I have an unopened spare if you want one.
Wow, look at that. Wow, hey, look at this. You know, hooking up Sentinels together. You know, we're getting people together. We bring people together. Okay, everybody, let's see that last piece of art here. And here it is. Unknown title. It's an homage to Amazing Spider-Man 16, where Daredevil obviously guest appeared. And that's why I really loved it. And yeah, with the Circus of Crime or whatever, Circus Master, whatever his name is. And yeah. It's dynamic, it's fun. Not a big fan of Daredevil's face. I thought that has problems to it. But other than that, I was like, geez, I don't know why you would reject this cover.
Yeah, so do you think this was a commissioned recreation, or do you think this was like some artist submitted a cover for Marvel and they just didn't use it?
Look, it had an editor's name at the back. That doesn't necessarily prove anything. It could have been a tryout cover submitted, you know, by someone.
Sure.
Or it could have been the editor giving an artist, here, do me a cover. You know, do me a cover for this reprint title or something, whatever, you know, and hand it in by this deadline or whatever. And, you know, maybe it didn't make the deadline and okay, that's why we didn't use it, you know. I have no idea. It could be, there's so many, when you have no information to go on,
right,
it makes it that much harder to really figure out what it really was. But the fact that he left out space for the UPC box, and didn't bother to draw the lines through the UPC, that to me tells me that it was meant to be published. You know, yeah. So there we go. Very cool cover homage. Yes, it is. Marcus says, "I love the Sentinels too." I know, we know you do. This is much more dynamic than the original cover.
I agree.
It is, absolutely. Would love this piece now. Yeah, I'd love the stuff like this. Even if it's unpublished, who cares? It's just a cool, dynamic, fun piece with great characters, you know? And yeah, exactly. I'm glad you admit it, Comic Art Boston. I'm glad you admit it. Exactly. A lot of people, they're not like me. They don't like to admit it. They feel bad saying bad, you know, something's bad about the artwork, but whatever. It is what it is, you know? Spot on Heart was about to say the same thing. Oh, the fact that Spidey has a slightly Bagley feel to it. I admit it. You're right. It absolutely is. Not slightly. It has very Bagley-ish look to it. Absolutely. Sentinel scared the hell out of me as a kid when they vaporized Wolverine. That was really awesome, actually. Ringmaster's face. Oh, that's it. Yes, the Ringmaster face is also a bit too dark and evil. It's pretty well done, though. Oh yeah, so it's a great cover. I think it's great. It's a shame. Yeah.
The Spider-Man obviously sells it, and then the other two kind of.
Yeah, I absolutely say that. Yeah, for sure. So there you go, everybody. So half an hour earlier than the last couple of episodes. I'm happy about that. Not as short as Jason and I were hoping it might be, but then we should always expect it'll go at least 30 minutes longer than we expect.
Yeah. Right.
So everybody, thank you for watching. You guys on Rewind, thank you as well as always. Really appreciate it. But of course, the biggest thanks to you, those of you who are my regulars and semi-regulars who come in and on Sunday nights, man, and really make the show as fun as it is by tuning in live and participating in the chat. That's what really makes it the most fun. So really appreciate that. And Ruben, it has a cage, but no bone saw. As I remember, I didn't sell immediately, but it also didn't take that long either. You know, Tony the Spidey does sell it, but come on, it's Spidey and the original Daredevil. I think both of them sell it. You know, many thanks. Oh, many thanks to you, Carmen Boston. I'm amazed you were able to stay for the whole thing. So, thank you. Even if you were, yeah, even if you were in and out, have a good week. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's been so long since you've been able to stay for an entire show, or at least for that long. You know, so thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Really, really appreciate it. Tom Lileish. Wow, that's a good one, Caesar. Now that you mention it, now I'm like, I can see that. Interesting. I can absolutely see that.
Good night, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you, man. Thank you as always. Really appreciate it. So yeah, anyways, like I said earlier, everyone, next week we do this again one more time. It will be the final one, the 8th and final episode of Back to the Past, and taking a look at this old inventory of mine. And because we finally get to the last letter of the alphabet, and looks like Frazetta to you, does it? Caesar, appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much, man. That's always love having you. Thanks for being here for the whole thing, and in whether you're in and out. Always appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. So yeah, next week it'll be the last one of the old inventory Back to the Past series, the 8th and final episode. And so we will leave you all with that. Yeah, like I said, the week after that, I believe, would be, let's see, 15. Yeah, the Halloween episode is right after that. Yeah, so that's it. We will last couple of comments. I don't want to miss it. It goes to Zek or even further. I believe Zek. Yeah, Zek is the last. Yeah,
cool.
Zek is the last one. Who else is there after that? Zafino, Zek. No, Zafino would be before Zek. Zulo. Yeah, I never had Chris. I don't think Chrissy Zulo was born when I was when I was first selling artwork, you know?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, number one Marvel fan. Really appreciate you. As always, thank you so much, man. Art, really appreciate you too. Appreciate it.
Marvel fan.
Thank you, man. Thanks so much, as always.
Night, Hart.
And that's it. So thanks again, guys. We'll leave you with the thumbnail for the last one. And yeah, that's what I just said. Chris Zulo and Zuli. I had Zuli, but not during this time period. Oh, and before I say bye-bye, hold on. There was, oh gosh, let me see how far I missed it. Who was it? Somebody asked me. Oh, we're up in Stain. You're probably gone now because you saw that I did not have Simonson. You asked about Simonson and somebody else. Silvestri. Okay, there you go. So we're up in Stain. In case you're still listening or watching, just to let you know, I have had Silvestri. I have had Simonson, both over the years, multiple times, in fact, of both artists. It's just that I did not have pieces by those two artists during that time when I decided I wanted to make photocopies of my inventory. So that's why for these shows, you didn't get to see any of art from those guys. Yeah. So this 8-episode series was all about that. It was specifically looking at art, not just that I had an inventory back in the day, but it was art that I had decided to make photocopies of. Back then. That's the specific thing about these episodes. So who knows, maybe one day in the future I might revisit the idea of Back to the Past. Unlikely, because it would take a lot more work, but where I can go, I'd have to go through all my scans that I have on my computer and pick out stuff. Just I have to look for stuff. Oh, I used to own that. Oh, yeah. I used to own that. Right. Not things that have anything to do with me having photocopied them, but yeah, doing it that way. But that's so time.
That would take forever.
Yeah. So it's not likely to happen. So that's why I'm saying, you know. And Truman I have had, but not in those days. So I didn't make a copy of it. So there you go. But again, thanks, guys. Really, really appreciate you. And yeah, we'll catch you all next week. Peace.
Night.